welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach. And every Friday we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, I mean, that's where they get you.
Well, welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I am Zach.
And what is today, Zach?
Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Even though this will be coming out a week or two before Independence Day, it'll be close, and that's exciting.
Now I sound stupid.
Well, you'll get to say it for next week, which we're less excited about than today.
Now I feel sick.
I haven't actually seen that yet. Does it happen on July 4th?
Haven't?
No, I'm going to watch it this week. I've been putting it off to the last possible minute.
God.
I've never seen it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it does take place.
I feel like they couldn't
because
help.
because there's like a whole ceremony thing that's like an anniversary, and it plays a big part in the plot, and yada yada yada.
Okay.
So yes, it does. For those of you who don't know what we're referring to the movie Independence Day Independence Day Resurgence, which is the crappy Force Awakens of this movie. Okay, so Independence Day is just this childhood staple for people like Brian and I.
Oh yeah.
This just transcendent sci-fi action blockbuster extravaganza that changed the film industry as we know it.
You were 5 when this movie came out, right?
Yeah, so I grew up with this thing, man. I watched this thing every Independence Day for like 5 years.
But you don't remember that summer in 96. It was insane, man. This is all anybody talked about.
You see, my first big one like that I remember people just talking endlessly about this movie that had come out, the first big one for me was The Matrix.
Ah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this one, I grew up with this. This was a staple. I actually don't know my parents' opinion on it. My dad bought it.
Really?
And we'd watch it. I think he liked it. But I don't think it was his favorite. But it was like this big, fun... It was loud. My dad loved loud movies. Even growing up pretty poor, his splurge was stereo system. Always said he could never live in an apartment.
Crank it,
yeah. And he loved this one for testing or showing off the sound effects and of his stereo systems.
Yeah.
But dude, this movie holds a special place in my heart. And I was worried that the crappy sequel would actually hurt it, but having rewatched it a little while ago, because it was just on in a hotel room, I think, I'm like, you know what? Nah, this is still solid. This is still my childhood. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I don't watch this movie every year anymore. But this is a movie that, it's okay. I want to bring up, every now and then we bring up Caravan of Garbage, but I wanted to actually bring up different YouTubers. So one of our favorites, yours and mine both, I was a little bit disappointed in his retrospective of this. Oliver Harper, you've seen his old?
I have.
And it's like, dude...
Also, I'm disappointed in Caravan of Garbage because their review of Independence Day Resurgence wasn't that it was awful. It was just that it was okay. And I'm like, I don't think I can trust you guys anymore.
See, I was kind of leading up to this. I didn't watch this, but I watched Oliver Harper's, and I respect him very much. He is a fantastic YouTuber with, like, I wish I had his talent for just kind of dissecting things and just his video production and how he goes about his retrospectives. You introduced me to him. I like him a lot. I feel like he was just like, did you, like, he kept saying, oh, it's this big popcorn thing that did that so well, yet it's this, and it's like, no, you're criticizing it for being a popcorn movie, American, which in the late 90s the North American box office was the box office. I mean, like, you can not like that, I guess, but that's just China was barely a market. You would have a few things that would pop off here and there in like Britain or Japan, but I mean, I want to say it was like 85% of the entire global market was North America. So it's just the way it was. And
what's really, oh, sorry.
I was going to say, and so there's another, I've talked about him, but I'm not sure if you've ever seen him. Rowan J. Cohen. He does a lot of Star Trek stuff. Have I told you about him? I feel like we've talked about him before.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, he's done a ton of Star Trek stuff, but he also does retrospectives on films, and he has a really good video on this he did about 2 years ago, talking about how, yes, this movie is simple, but that is not a bad thing. This movie is actually one of the best examples of how you do this type of movie well, and arguing, which I agree with, that there is a certain talent for doing a big, bombastic popcorn action film well. And if it was easy to do, it would be done way more often. It takes something, and we'll talk about Emmerich as we go through this. He does not bat 1,000, not even close. In fact, this is probably either his best or one of his best movies, and most of his movies are mid to bad. But
yeah,
there's criticizing this movie, like there's been like a revisionary thing going on about this film, which pisses me off, because this movie is exactly what it meant to be, and it does that thing well. And if you don't like that thing anymore, that's fine. But don't retroactively think this movie is worse because you just are no longer into the type of movie that this set out to be in the 90s. If that makes sense.
You mean, is this like people calling it Americana propaganda and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, versions of that, yeah.
Well, let's get one thing out of the way. This wasn't made by Americans.
No. He's German, I believe, right?
Wasn't. Roland Emmerich's Austrian.
Austrian, okay. Sorry, Germans.
Wait, let me double check that. I'm fairly certain.
I know he's European. I thought he was German.
Yeah, okay. He's German and Austrian.
Oh,
okay. And American, but also like Dean Devlin. Okay,
his
so
writing partner.
He's technically American. But he was one of the writers for this thing. But he's also Filipino.
Well, because they've been a creative team for decades, right? The two of them?
Yeah. Yes. They did split after The Patriot, which would explain why everything after The Patriot was such crap. He did have a hand in Independence Day Resurgence, but apparently he wasn't happy with the way that went, and they didn't work together again after it.
Because after The Patriot, that's when you get like Day After Tomorrow and 2012 and that kind of stuff, right?
Day After Tomorrow, 2012, Moonfall.
Oh, gosh.
There's another one in there. Yeah.
Well, and because Roland Emmerich, he did Midway, which I did not think was horrible, honestly. But
no, it wasn't quite Pearl Harbor 2.0 like I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but no, this is. I mean, and so we've already recorded.
Ed Skrein is a good lead.
We've already recorded a podcast on Stargate, which was before this Emmerich's biggest film, I believe, right?
Yes, it was his biggest film because there was also Universal Soldier, and then there were
right.
some smaller things. But Stargate was particularly prevalent for it because Stargate was a sleeper hit. It wasn't huge at the box office, but it was really big in video sales and rentals. And then it was actually, supposedly, the story goes that Roland Emmerich was being asked about the existence of aliens and alien invasions during an interview while he was sitting there with Dean Devlin and whoever was interviewing him. And he was talking about like his opinions on aliens. Could they exist? What it would be like if they actually visited us? And it's just like, and he literally said something along the lines of, imagine if you woke up in the morning and there's a 15-mile wide spacecraft hovering over your house. And he turns to Dean Devlin and he says, hey, I think I have the plot for our next movie. And guess what? That's what they did. And
yeah, because it was just like, what, 2.5 year turnaround?
I tried to look for that. I tried to look for that interview, but couldn't find it. But yeah, 3-year turnaround from that.
Man.
And this movie
back when directors would do that.
The second highest grossing movie of all time. And it changed how movies are made.
I mean, that's unadjusted for inflation, obviously, but like This was second for a while. This was second only to Jurassic Park, right?
It was not second for a while. It was second until Titanic.
Oh, and that was, yeah, that's right. That wasn't too far after.
Mhm.
But I mean, this was, I was teasing you a little bit about your age, but I mean, this movie, I distinctly remember this movie coming out the summer of '96. It was my freshman year of high school. I was 14. Actually, I had just turned 15, and this movie was everywhere. Like, it was all everybody talked about. It was huge. It was one of those movies where I think I saw this 3 or 4 times in theaters, because anytime you're like, you haven't seen it yet, we're going to the theater. It was just you just wanted, and you wanted to see this in theaters.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
I did that with Star Wars Force Awakens. I did that with Revenge of the Sith. I didn't have a car with Revenge of the Sith, but that still happened because people wanted to see it with me. Oh, 2009 Star Trek. That happened with the Dark Knight and 2009 Star Trek. Where it was like, oh, you haven't seen that? Let's go. I saw Star Trek in theaters 4 times. Though also, actually, I also saw the M. Night Shyamalan movie Devil 4 times, but I only paid for it once because people just wanted to see it, and I ended up just being like, okay.
That is a really odd
That
one.
was weird coincidence. But yeah, I remember, I said The Matrix was the first big one, but it was actually Titanic. That's the first one that I really remember. That was huge.
So
But this movie took after, in terms of advertising and marketing, it took after what we brought up before, just 2 weeks ago, Batman in 1989, with that marketing kind of like major push. Once the studio saw what this movie was going to be, they needed it to be everywhere. And they actually used the strategy that was created by Arnold Schwarzenegger, or because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I should say, advertising the movie Total Recall. There was a some sort of study that was done. I don't know how they did this, but essentially they went out and talked to a whole bunch of people when Total Recall was coming out, and saying like, are you aware of this movie that's coming out? And it was something like only about 40 to 47% of people said yes, and Arnold Schwarzenegger said that was unacceptable, and he like took a pay cut or something like that, or pushed the studio to do just this massive advertising similar to Batman, and it ended up being wildly successful.
Yeah.
And fast forward a couple of years, and boom, here's this one, and it does the same blitzkrieg. In fact, it started the whole thing of the premiere slot for movie trailers at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
This was the first one.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
Huge.
The other thing that really stood out to me about this film was, and I mean, this was brought up in several retrospectives, but I mean, I remember this at the time, and we think of them as big stars now, but like, Will Smith, people knew who he was, obviously, from Fresh Prince and Bad Boys, and Jeff Goldblum, everybody knew him from The Fly and from Jurassic Park, and Bill Pullman was definitely known, but all the posters were about the aliens. Like, it was just the ominous images of the discs over cities or in orbit or something. It was just this. It really was, and we talked about this while we recorded War of the Worlds. This really was the alien invasion / this is a like natural disaster film, but the natural disaster is aliens, and that was the marketing push. I mean, the White House destruction was in the marketing immediately, and it just created this sense of anticipation that was. I can't think of something else. I mean, there were other movies that were, as anticipated. I mean, Batman '89 is a great example. But this movie
like
managed...
Maybe Endgame?
I'm thinking about before this movie. I mean, there's plenty of examples afterwards. But, like, you think about, going back and, some of the big... I mean, Jurassic Park, honestly, was a big deal. But this managed to be in that small club of films that just got people hyped, not for seeing... Because this is back in the era of the movie star. It really was still peak movie star time, even though IPs matter. But this was a totally original film, and just the concept and the
H.G. Wells would like a word with that.
The biggest, the big the scale. That's a better word. The scale of the concept and what it was shooting for just got people pumped, and And I mean, we want to talk about the music. We want to talk about just the imagery. This is a movie that I really do think is one of the best made. Just popcorn fun. Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, it's got problems. We'll talk about them. It's got pacing issues. It's got some logic leaps that you're like,
Bloopers galore.
what? Yeah, but you just don't care because it's not that kind of movie. I mean, this is as much as Harrison Ford is famous for telling Mark Hamill, it's not that kind of movie, kid. Compared to Star Wars, this is the definition of it's not that kind of movie, kid.
Yeah,
and
this movie
it's fun.
is not high art.
No.
It's art for what it is. It is the perfect big stupid blockbuster, but it's like it's not best picture. It's not something people are going to sit there and
It is an
drink
Academy
a
Award winner,
glass
though.
of wine as they break down the subtle character themes and development of then the inspiration behind Independence Day.
Yeah, but it
No,
does.
this is a movie that is is associated in imagery, and I'm not even joking on this. This is like the way that the modern retrospectives and looks back on and associations. This is literally associated with the 4th of July and football and beer.
Oh yeah.
That's what this movie is associated with.
So, but we got a lot to talk about, and we have a movie here that's well past the 2 hour mark. So why don't you give us the rundown, and then we will continue to yabber about this movie while we watch it.
Yes, indeed. So the rundown of this movie is that it is Independence Day. That was at the time referred to as ID4. Funny little piece of trivia about this movie is that it was almost named Doomsday instead because the studio didn't have the rights to the name Independence Day. It was released in the year 1996. It's PG-13, 2 hours and 25 minutes long, directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. And we have starring Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman. Where to even stop or start with this? Mary McDonnell, Judd Hirsch, Robert Loggia, Randy Quaid, Margaret Collin, Vivica A. Fox. I want to go ahead and just bring up a young and unknown Adam Baldwin.
Yep.
He's a favorite of mine.
He's great in this.
And I think Mae Whitman deserves a mention as well.
Mary McDonnell also.
I said Mary McDonnell.
You did? How did I not hear you?
She was the 4th one I mentioned.
Okay. I mean, yeah, before Battles. And you forgot one of our favorite not even a cameo.
Did.
You, sir, did not mention Mr. Spiner.
Brent Spiner!
Thank you.
Brent Spiner.
Mr. Data himself.
Oh my gosh. It's so weird watching this movie with Brent Spiner in it because Brent Spiner doesn't talk like a normal human being. He talks like Data.
But like, think about it.
He does.
This movie
I'm sorry,
has
that's fine.
direct ties to Star Trek, to Firefly, to Battlestar Galactica. I mean,
No, dude. No, but think about it, okay? This is a movie. They literally were like, we need to make a new Star Wars. That was part of it because with the battles and everything and the dog fighting, like they sat there on the press tour for Stargate and we're like, we're gonna make Star Wars. And you end up with this movie, connections in the cast of Firefly through Adam Baldwin, Star Trek through Brent Spiner, and Battlestar Galactica through Mary McDonnell. And it's not like, oh, this character just appeared in one of these things. Those were main players.
yeah,
And there's even more connections like that.
scenes,
This
speaking
is
roles.
the science fiction melting pot. And yeah, so this movie's nuts.
Yeah,
Let's get to it.
let's get to it. I mean, there is a cut with like some extra footage. We're just watching.
Oh yes, I was going to bring that up. Have you ever seen that?
I have
extended
seen it. I know I've watched it. I know that I've seen like the deleted scenes. We can talk about it later with like the original biplane ending, that kind of stuff. But
Oh god, that's awful.
it's been a long time, and I assume I have just the regular theatrical cut queued up. I'm assuming you do also.
Yes, I do as well, and that is the one that you would kind of want to watch if it's your first time. The extended edition actually does have some really good stuff in it, but it definitely drags down the pacing.
Yeah.
And it really makes one side character like gross horny the whole time because she's like a 14-year-old girl.
That's right, the daughter of Randy Quaid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, her entire character arc is, I want to try to have sex before the world ends.
Yep.
All right. Well, please, before we hit play on this, if you enjoy us at all, if you enjoy listening to us chatter through an entire movie, go ahead and hit like on whatever service you're doing. Shoot us a comment. Tell us how much we suck. Tell us that you love us. Give us a suggestion for a movie that you would enjoy doing. Whatever you want to do. But any form of interaction.
Voice is annoying.
Yes. Tell Zach something funny. Anyways, but any interaction we do appreciate, we do enjoy. But with that, let's go ahead and get ready to hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Yeah, so Roland Emmerich actively looked at Star Wars for this movie in a couple things. Like, he wanted to echo that dogfight thing because that's something that no other movie after Star Wars could really quite get right.
Yeah.
But also, one of the things he did is it was really important because George Lucas was very insistent that half of Star Wars, and I agree with this, and when we watch the original trilogy, I'll talk a lot about it, half of Star Wars is the music. And half of this movie is the music.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you brought this, because I was literally about to say, like, we got to talk about David Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is, like, its soundtrack. I mean, I have this soundtrack still on CD. Like, I bought the CD back in the 90s, and I still own it. It's David Arnold. It's shamelessly inspired, and I wouldn't say copy, but, definitely leans heavily into classic Hollywood. But it works so much for this movie. This movie's soundtrack is amazing.
Genuinely. It's such that old kind of Americana sound from, like, old Revolutionary War themes that's become synonymous with kind of American patriotism sounds.
Well, he literally went and used John Philip Sousa inspiration for some of his stuff, right? And a few things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're already entering into this absurdity that is this movie. So right here, and there are some ways around this in a science fiction thing. We have the vibration on the moon going, messing up the old footprints from the moon landing, which there's no air in space. So in theory, there should be no way that this stuff is actually vibrating. That's the common complaint. If they had some sort of, gravitational technology,
the propulsion
that could do it.
Device that they used, if it's like the backwash once it passed the moon. But even right here, that shot, the music kicking in, eclipsing the Earth there as it flies over. And this is Star Wars. This is a Star Destroyer flying across the top of the screen. This is fully Star Wars right here.
Exactly.
REM going here all of a sudden, which is just a fun little.
This song became a staple in pop culture, and I think largely because of this movie, "The End of the World as We Know It" by REM. As we know.
And then we have another little cameo with the Mummy coming up here. The what's his name?
Well, he was
in Stargate. And Stargate.
Yes, that's correct. So we have this actor who pops up here. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in Stargate as the chief on the planet, and he's been in several things. He's just one of those actors that's in everything. And I remember people answering the phone being like, if this isn't an insanely beautiful woman, I'm hanging up. That's the type of thing that's just not really in movies anymore. Because if you're introducing a character with a line like that, you expect that character to be around for a lot longer because it's a distinct character line. This guy's only at the beginning.
But even here, this opening scene,
little character things.
I was just say the
For these
amount
thriller
of just like character and comedy and just like having like the pacing of just this. You never see these people again. This is entirely just to open it, and they got some fun actors here. There's some fun energy going on. It's just, and this is it. That's it. All those actors are now done in the film.
Yeah,
But it just
you already have these little things. Oh, they're playing golf. He's complaining about golf balls. He's obviously like lonely and horny and
yeah.
yada yada yada. You just don't get that a lot. But that was also supposed to be SETI, by the way, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which was a huge program, especially in the 90s. It's referenced a lot in things like the X-Files and other science fictions at the time.
Contact.
It's still around, but to a lesser extent. But they have this very famous array of satellites operating out of New Mexico.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people forget too that this is a time when the X-Files is on TV. There's so many other programs about Roswell and Area. I mean, this was kind of peak.
The show Roswell, I think, might have been going around this time.
There was, I mean, yeah, and this was, I mean, at this point also we're in the mid to late 90s. Star Trek is going super strong at this point. Like aliens and science fiction.
At this point, I think.
Yeah, had Voyager started at this? Yeah, I think Voyager had it was either about to or was just in its first season. But science fiction and aliens were really cresting as a really like mainstream thing at this point in American pop culture.
Yeah. And right here, this is one of the funniest little things to me. The daughter. Do you know about the actress here, Mae Whitman?
I don't.
Did you ever watch the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Oh, yes.
She is the evil ex-girlfriend.
Really?
Yes. Her name's Mae Whitman, and in Avatar: The Last Airbender, she voiced the character of Katara, and she's been in a couple of other movies. And she's a very talented actress, and yeah, she was the lesbian ex-girlfriend from what you call it, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Man, this whole opening though too, and I mean again, not that this is like subtle, artful, whatever, but still, they're building character stuff immediately here with they're showing you the wife calling, that they have playful banter, that fact that he feels. You can joke about his daughter being, a beautiful brunette that he's waking up next to, and the daughter's like tattling on him. They're showing on the television screen. They're giving you little insights to the reception of him as a president. This conversation, like they're already like this movie just starts out of the gate at full speed and does not start. And they're laying on character tropes left and right. The way everybody's talking is with a lot of energy, and it's funny, we think about Marvel quippiness, like jokes, like kind of everywhere nowadays. This movie did it also, or just like they're dropping jokes everywhere that they can.
Oh yeah, well it came from like Men in Black and this, that's just so much of what those 90s action sci-fi movies were. I love that kind of thing. All right, where it's just this character introduction, you're getting to know the president, you're seeing all this stuff, and then he picks up the phone and you don't hear what's on the other line. You just the facial expression. Did you say that again? Like it builds towards like what's happening, but the active building of tension towards the reveal of the aliens is so good.
Oh yeah,
even if it's kind of bullshit,
it's
still so good.
Well, this movie is. I would put this movie up against almost anything in a competition of the audience knows exactly what's going to happen before you do anything, and yet you still manage to have a tremendous amount of tension building for the first. I mean, the opening act of this film is a masterclass of how you set up. And especially considering that nobody is wondering. Yeah. Well, the fact that nobody's wondering what's going to happen. Nobody's like, are they really going to attack? Like nobody's under the illusion that these characters are under, right? That we're not really sure what's going to happen next. And it doesn't matter because the movie still just keeps ratcheting and keeps ratcheting and keeps ratcheting. And when that first blast hits I think the first building that's destroyed on screen, right, is in L.A., I think.
Yes, the bank.
The interstate. Yeah, and because you can do that. You don't have to shroud what's going to happen in mystery in order for there to be tension. And this movie's a great example of that.
Because I'm curious about that. Because right now we're gearing up towards the release of a. Supposedly it's going to be Steven Spielberg's last great sci-fi. He's made comments about that in the form of a movie called Disclosure Day, and he's been very vocal about how
X-Files nod there.
He's Disclosure Day. We haven't seen anything from the movie's third act, but we know that it's supposed to be about aliens and stuff like that. And I'm curious, but I'm almost kind of frustrated with like the mystery. But it can work for a sci-fi like that. But a sci-fi like this, if you tried to keep the mystery in the advertising, nobody would have seen it.
No.
It's more of the promise of like seeing this great destruction that we've never seen before on screen for this movie. Before it, that made people go, "Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen here."
Well, I think
it's not that they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's that they don't know how it's going to look.
Well, and you just kind of put this up too. There is a way to, all the little Dave the Earth's still nod there, or earlier as they were going through the newsroom or whatever. The little bit of I love X-Files too. Man, there's a lot of little nods to sci-fi. But I was gonna say this movie it understands that there is a way to promise your audience what they're gonna get in the advertising. Literally put the destruction of the White House in your trailer. And then have your people show up, have your audience show up, and then give them what you told them you would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deliver on your own promise, which is an important thing.
Yeah. And I had something to say on that, but it's gone, to be honest. I got distracted by these guys, because this is kind of the weakest part of the movie. But it also pays off so nicely.
It does.
We're introduced to this family of Midwest crop dusters, and you got this rousing kind of adventure music. Sounds like it'd be heard in some sort of like Rocketeer movie. You know?
Well, and
only real plane in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had some models that they blew up of F-18s, but yeah, this movie.
No, genuinely, this is the only actual real functioning plane that appears in this movie. Everything else is CGI or miniatures.
Yeah, miniatures. I believe that. I was gonna say that.
You don't need to believe it. It's true. I know it. I looked it up.
Okay, man. I believe.
Stop doubting me.
I know. See, now I'm gonna doubt you more. Are you sure? Okay, this movie has so many lines. We talk about this movies from our childhoods that we quote. Right there,
yes.
Are you sure? that gets quoted in my family more often than I like to admit. Are you sure?
There are several of these. It's faded out over time with my family, because none of us live together anymore and whatnot. But there's a couple of lines from this movie. My mom will still quote David. Comes a little bit, earlier. The one guy there from Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh
man,
those ships!
And these like trailer flashes, which is interesting. Just like the way it's it's almost like I forget which YouTuber said this, but it's like kind of true. Parts of this opening are almost edited like a trailer.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought of it that way, but you're quite right on that.
Oh man,
this lady.
This thing made this whole briefing room. And the guy here, the Secretary of Defense, the guy sitting on the couch talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he plays the scummy politician so well. Just the little, you get that great scene there 51 later, sniveling little weasel like you, Secretary of Defense, because it is.
Well, did you know that he was actually based on a real guy?
Really?
That one Joint Chief or Secretary of Defense, I can't remember who it was, who like sold a bunch of weapons and designs and things to Venezuela illegally. Yeah, it's like he's actually based on a real guy who's just like, I'm breaking the law and not telling you about things, but it's for the right reasons, so I'm still the good guy. Yeah.
I love there's so many little bits of line. It's settled into a stationary orbit. Well, that's good news. Not really, sir. And just like, just the quick little, the pacing of a lot of these scenes, the dialogue is really good. Bill Pullman also, because this was a role that, he was known for comedies before this.
Lone Star.
he really does. I don't know. It's a because this was. I mean, I think of this and Air Force One. You know, you have Harrison Ford as the president and Bill Pullman as president. You have two, and I think Air Force One was the very next year. I think 97, maybe 98.
No, it was 98.
Okay, so 2 years later, but you had kind of an era here of like fantasizing about the president just being very much not Bill Clinton.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things that was in one of the reviews that I was watching. It's just like, oh, and here's an American president. The ultimate fantasy. He's not a geriatric pervert.
Oh.
But yeah, the Bill Pullman's role was actually, they originally wanted Kevin Spacey. But, and what's his face? The director, Emmerich, really wanted Kevin Spacey. However, the producers were like, he's not presidential enough. They don't think that Kevin Spacey could play a good enough president. Which is kind of funny,
Yeah.
given that his big late career role was there in House of Cards.
Yep. Oh,
As
the
the
TVs, Zenith.
The
Just
CRTVs, vacuum tube, and they make that sound when they turn on.
yep. Well, and of course you have the through the whole thing of the interference like in the TV, which I'm glad that even before it's like introduces a plot point, like you saw it when he was like with his daughter in that opening shot. You've got it here. You have it in the trailer when the kid was watching Day the Otis still. They're actually this again. This isn't a people who dismiss this movie as being poorly made now are just really missing the fact that yes, it's straightforward and simple. But there was a tremendous amount of thought and energy put into this movie. Even if it's a super straight line.
The most competently made stupid movie ever made.
Yeah.
This right here, I love this. This is just a model in a smoke tank, and the guys are just in a fake tank with people, a fan and smoke blowing by them.
It works.
Yeah.
Oh. Of course,
all of this with America's technology. Yeah, you can write something in there. Oh, that's what I was going to say. There was actually a novelization of this movie.
Really?
That was based on the original script, and it has a lot more information in it that fills in some like plot points and things about the aliens. That's quite interesting, and it actually makes the movie a little smarter. Which is interesting, though there were only like 4 alien spaceships, and they were like moving around city to city instead of there being like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, this is I'm not going to call this realistic is not the right word, but compared to War of the Worlds, this is a little bit more of a like, okay, if you had beings of the technology, right, to, we're not just coming from Mars, we're talking interstellar type of, travel here, not just within our solar system. The kind of technology that they would have, the scale they would be able to operate at. This movie is a little bit more, I don't know. Again, the words that come to mind don't work for me, but it in some ways it's more updated than what H.G. Wells was able to imagine back in the late 1800s.
Yeah. This actor here, okay, this is a funny story about him. He ended up causing quite a problem on set because the director had told him, in terms of his performance, like they're on set, he's gearing up and whatnot, and he's told that he should watch a movie in order to kind of understand the feel of the performance they were hoping for. And it was supposed to be a movie called Airport, which is a very tense disaster film type of thing, right? But the director or the writer, whoever it was, accidentally said the word airplane. So, that guy goes and watches Airplane, the goofy comedy.
Oh, no.
And he becomes convinced that he was tricked and lied to in order to appear in a satirical, goofy movie instead of the more serious disaster action movie he was promised. And he wouldn't leave the trailer until they were able to figure out the problem.
Wow. Because he's probably one of the most kind of straight actors I mean, as far as just like straightforward, like he doesn't drop a lot of jokes. He's just kind of the loyal friend to the president throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, he's the straight man. Like that is quite literally his role in this thing. This movie taught me so much.
Oh, goodness.
Growing up. This was the first gay man I really encountered in film. I'm not even joking. I learned about anal probes and the sexual abuse of abductees. I learned about gay people, and I learned about strippers.
You learned about
from
strippers.
This movie. I learned what exotic dancers were because of this movie. Because my parents would, you could switch from like channel 3 where the primary input was coming from over to another thing really fast and back. They would do that for certain scenes in this movie so that way I wouldn't see them. So that always just built my curiosity. Okay.
Yeah.
So the moment that I was allowed to be home alone, I was watching these movies that they would do that for.
Yeah.
And so I watched this movie going, huh?
Oh gosh.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, for a young boy, the brief scene where she's dancing in the club would definitely pique my interest if I was young, but
never did it for me.
Okay. I always found it interesting that this, I don't know why, for some reason, okay, there's a few little things that I noticed, like, even back when this movie was brand new. And one was, I didn't understand why, I don't know why this stuck out to me, why this movie came in over land versus, why the ship, like, came in, like, over the desert and then into the LA basin. I always thought it should have come in from the ocean. I don't know why. Just, things come in from the ocean. But that was one of those things. And then, this kid. Do you know anything about this kid?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not.
He does a good job. I really do think that. And then I love this. The whole they're in LA. And who cares about an earthquake?
And that makes a lot of sense. Like if you live in LA, there's going to be earthquakes. So why would they get up, right?
Yeah. This music cue.
Ross Bagley. He was
Boom,
Buckwheat
boom,
in The
boom.
Little Rascals.
Yeah. And I mean,
he seems to have retired from acting.
yeah, people joke about the whole you destroy famous landmarks, but there are two things I want to say to those critics. One, it helps a movie be more universally understood as far as the stakes and advertising. When you blow up things people recognize, if you blow up generic suburban, suburbia households or just some city like
Queens,
Chicago, where it's like, all right, it's not as effective in terms of it people recognizing instantly like how big of a deal this is. And if the aliens had studied us and like wanted to hit us in our biggest areas, well then they would hit the big cities that we recognize landmarks from. I'm not saying that they would have centered right over the Eiffel, the Empire State Building, but the idea that they attack our biggest, most prominent areas first is not a crazy idea. This reveal.
No, not at all. Especially with this, okay? Oh, do you know how they did this cloud effect?
It's just like a plunge like down through a like a tank, right? With like
So they have these huge crystal clear tanks of water, and they would drop they would add some like oils and stuff to keep things buoyant, and then they would drop essentially milk into it. Then it would make that cloud effect, and a couple of other chemicals as well. And then they just pushed the model through the milk.
Yeah.
And it made that effect, and they just composited it over the city.
It's
all
simple but so
practical,
effective.
with some little CGI touch-ups, which is just the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean this movie. This is kind of peak. Late '90s into the early 2000s was really kind of the peak of model work still happening, but CG is starting to get good enough with the right hands involved to really create kind of the best of both worlds. I mean, I think. Unquestionably, Lord of the Rings is the best example of that. But this is another great movie
for science fiction. I think for science fiction, this and Episode 1
Hmm.
and possibly Armageddon deserve to be mentioned in those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking of like in general. I mean, I think Lord of the Rings is just if I wanted to like pull out one movie, but yeah, there's I would say like 94 to like 2005. There was kind of that 10-year ish gap of
Mhm.
CG hadn't taken over everything, but it was getting good enough to really look good even by today's standards. But the model work was so well understood at that point and so refined that dang, it looked good. Like, not every shot in this movie is perfect, but a lot of these shots to this day hold up really well.
They do. Um,
Aw, here we go. We got Vincent.
yeah, the dog, which I'm sure is totally still alive and healthy. Um, yeah, its name's Boomer, right?
Something like that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
Boomer.
it does follow that rule that you do not kill dogs. Like, I remember it actually would have come out similar because Jurassic Park was 93, I want to say. So
90,
Lost World
94.
would have been around this time. And I remember way more people got upset when the dog was eaten by the dinosaur than any of the people who died. It's one of those love it or hate it. It's a reality. You
Oh
hurt a
yeah.
dog,
Well,
and people are going to care way more than if you hurt a person.
well, if you're ever worried about things like trigger warnings, like my wife's emetophobic, right? She doesn't like barf. Um, and if she sees it, it makes her gag, stuff like that. So she doesn't want to watch movies that have barf in it. There's a site that was founded solely off of the idea of people who were so upset by dogs dying. The site is called "Does the Dog Die?" And you can go to that site, and if you have any type of trigger warning, and they get into the weeds on this thing, man. Like some stuff people get like freaked out by and don't want to see in
This-
movies. Like it's downright pathetic in some cases, but this site will have it if
I'm
it's in the
listening to
movie.
you, but I'm also like watching this scene unfold. This is such a well shot scene, just the way it goes back and forth before it finally pans up here with him.
And this guy's supposed to be a freaking fighter pilot with like exceptional perception and peripheral vision skills. And you can't even see that giant freaking thing.
Well, he hadn't had his coffee yet. She walked out and hadn't seen it either. Like, just
Yeah.
oh, the kid with the toy
And
gun.
that's
good.
Vivica A. Fox, who also played a love interest of his, of Will Smith's on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
This movie does
Apparently they were originally
attempt.
talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, but the director didn't like her.
Okay. This movie does attempt to. I mean, obviously they're just broad, caricature. Maybe not even I think caricature is honestly a little mean. I think the movie had literal seconds of screen time to establish this is happening in other parts of the world, and so of course it just did the most obvious bits of that to let you instantly know where you were by showing other parts of the world. But it does show you, like right there on the news, it showed you Paris and Moscow, and then later when we see the British and a few and the Russians again, and I think we see I think China, but
Yeah, and earlier we saw Iran.
Iran,
I
yeah.
think.
That's right. Yeah,
Because
you go to
you
the
have to
desert.
remember,
and
this is post. This is post.
Gulf War.
Gulf War, so that was like a huge thing, America, f yeah, and so it's kind of a big deal. And also, you can film in L.A. and make it and say that it's Iran pretty easily,
Oh
or Iraq.
It's also, I feel like it was just one for running jokes for a while during this era of cinema. The idea of just like screw the lawyers, like we just kind of hate lawyers.
Yeah. Well, if you look really closely at that scene, you can see in his mouth, he doesn't say, forget my lawyer. He said something else.
Nice.
And they clearly ADR'd it.
Oh, nice.
That's actually, okay, one of the big weaknesses of this movie is the ADR. The ADR is absolutely horrific at times. Especially like the son, the long-haired kid, Randy Quaid's son. Some of the worst ADR. Even when I was a kid, I was like, this guy does not sound right. Like, he is completely dubbed in ADR.
Oh man, I'm like, I've seen this movie 20 times, and I still
Yeah.
just like want to watch it here. It's gonna be
Well,
a problem.
especially this portion is so easy to get drawn into.
Oh yeah, like I said, the whole
Mhm.
movie is good. The middle of it does sag a little bit, but everything leading up to the attack is just great.
Hey, my middle sags too, so you know.
That's true. And this, man, okay. You know, the first time I watched this, I missed that this was his dad. I don't know why. There's like no reason why I would have missed it, because I mean, I wasn't like a kid, and for some reason I thought they were old friends. I did not catch the fact that it was his dad here. So I mean, I'm talking about the scene coming up when he goes back and he answers the door with a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why.
Vultures. Okay. Corridor Crew actually looked at that scene. I'm going to talk about Corridor Crew a little bit because
Yeah.
they found out some really interesting things about this movie.
Well, don't give
but
away
that
the
scene-
don't give away the explosion of the end, because I want to talk about that when we get to
won't.
the end. Okay.
But that scene of her opening and I think that it was also true of when he first goes out and we see the big shot of it. But that scene of her opening the window and looking out, their house is in an impossible spot. It doesn't exist in Los Angeles. Nowhere has that view. They're floating in midair. I found that funny.
That is fun. I do like some of that stuff where you're like, I want to get that. Well, that's I remember Fraser's apartment can't exist. Like its view of Seattle, it's actually impossible.
Mhm.
That was another.
Oh, I remember that. I believe it was the first poster to come out for the movie 50 Shades of Grey. Has him like standing in an office looking out over Seattle, and somebody looked at the view and like, so his office tower's in the middle of the bay?
Yeah, it just works.
Mm.
This was also, it's interesting because Will Smith again, he was, he was well known from TV, and Bad Boys what was a modest hit, but this really. This turned him into a
created
superstar.
Will Smith as a star.
Yeah, and specifically,
like this, and then followed right after with Men in Black.
Yeah, well, because this
boom.
he's not only funny, but he can do this was the action. I mean, as much as again, Bad Boys came first. Playing a cop is whatever. This movie made him into an action star while still getting to be his patent Will Smith, funny guy routine.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, because you had 3 years, 3 movies for Will Smith that were all just these hits.
Yeah. Well, okay, sorry. It was this Men in Black, and what was the third one?
Bad Boys.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you were counting Bad Boys. I missed that. Because then, and of course, the ill-fated Wild Wild West, which he famously did not do The Matrix to make, right?
Right.
Oh, that was it. That was his first big miss, and for a while, he had quite a string of hits for a while there.
Dude, we need to put that on the list.
Oh, it's so.
We need to watch Wild Wild West. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? It's not.
I really wanted to. I thought it looked really cool when I was a kid, and then my mom was like, "No, we're not seeing that." I'm like, "Why do you hate me?"
It's not nearly as bad as a lot of other bad movies we have on our list, but it's just very mediocre.
I was told that it was intensely horny.
It might be. It's been a long time, man. Okay, some of these wide shots, I feel like the ships from some of these wide shots are also not scaled correctly. Like they're bigger than 15 miles.
Yeah, they move around in terms of size throughout the movie.
Okay, and you were saying that he's famous from Taxi, right?
I didn't say that. I don't know what the hell Taxi is. Wait, isn't that where Christopher Lloyd got his start?
Yeah, the sitcom.
I love it.
Okay. The other argument that I got into a lot in 1996, because it didn't come out until that fall. I got into many arguments with my friends at the time, because Star Trek First Contact came out this fall, and as much as I loved this movie, I got into some pretty heated conversations about First Contact was a better movie. And, my friends all thought I was crazy because I was a big Star Trek fan and First Contact was amazing. Yes, Judd Hirsch was on Taxi from 1978 to 1983. I'm not crazy.
I thought that blah, 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 blah. I thought that First Contact was 97.
Nope. First Contact was November 22nd, 1996.
I remember that because that's my birthday.
Yeah. And I mean, I no shade on this. I just remember, like, as much as I loved this movie, I was so obsessed with I mean, it was Star Trek. This was like peak Star Trek, and First Contact was
Yeah. And
so
First Contact
good.
is
It's the
First
best next gen
Contact
movie.
is truly the last great Star Trek film.
Yeah.
Like, I love the 2009 movie, and I really like Star Trek Beyond. And I know that we're gonna have some pretty differing opinions on
It's
that,
all right.
but
It'll be
I
civil.
really like those movies, except for Into Darkness. But First Contact is head and shoulders above them.
Yeah. But it was, just one of the fun nerd conversations that I got to have later this year once that movie came out. This whole scene, Los Angelinos not to fire their guns at the alien spacecraft.
I mean, yeah, just get some guy with a howitzer out there.
Oh man, you know somebody in L.A. though shooting his handgun up at that thing.
Right?
Oh, this whole okay, the actor who plays his friend here,
Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, he did
Okay.
a few noteworthy things during this era, right?
He did. I didn't even realize that was Harry Connick Jr. for the longest time. Okay, my mother is obsessed with Harry Connick Jr.'s Christmas album. She loves this man. Okay, and she she went to see him in concert a couple times, but he's gone on to do several things. He was so one of the movies that we've done, Iron Giant. He was the voice of the character Dean.
Oh, nice.
But
Okay.
he's known for stuff like that romantic comedy or drama or whatever the hell it is with Sandra Bullock.
Oh gosh,
Hope
there's a few of those. Hope. Okay.
Hope Floats.
This
It just is the worst freaking title. Oh my god.
Oh.
But yeah. So
The whole idea that you're never gonna get to fly the space shuttle if you marry what is that? What is that logic?
no, dude. No, that is an actual thing. When you are in a position of prestige, okay, and they take this into account, your personal life is huge when you're going to be doing something as big as going into as being an astronaut, especially during this time. Okay, astronauts are big heroes. It's crazy still for people to think like, oh, this guy's gonna go spend 12 months in space, right? We're going to the space shuttle. This is going to be a hero. Kids are going to be looking up to him, writing reports about you. And all of a sudden, somebody's going to find out, oh, yeah, his wife's a stripper. That makes the armed forces look bad. And he probably would not be chosen for such a prestigious position, especially during this time.
Yeah, but I'd say that it's definitely, though, something that wouldn't be true these days.
Yeah, I mean, there's an astronaut who that's going to be going up soon who had an OnlyFans back in 2020. That's just the way things are now.
Yeah. I actually love that because this is realistic. If this happened, especially back then, there would be people who would be going out to go on top of the buildings and doing this.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel
and they'd be live streaming it these days.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for her friend because it's like, oh, she's like, just a sweet girl, but it's just we're the only schmucks trying to get in. Oh, the mini CD.
So much Yiddish.
His computer also. There was a special edition
MacBook.
Apple. Well, I think this was just a PowerBook too. It wasn't. It was like the actual ID4 edition. I think. Look this up over.
Yeah, I don't know that. I just know that it's a Mac.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a Mac.
A lot better than it is these days.
So let's see here.
Yeah, it's like this is just all super high tech. He's got like the little dish that goes on top because that was just a symbol at that time of like, this is a transmitter. I am techie. Woo!
Yes, the PowerBook 5300, the computer.
So one of the things that we're going to bring up next week when we watch the sequel to this is that they take the character here of David Livingston, or Levington or whatever it is, and they totally change him. He just becomes the meme that is Jeff Goldblum in the second one. His character is so different in this one versus the majority of his characters. He'll never truly get away from just being Jeff Goldblum, but he's like smart and patient and like very almost like understated, almost timid in the way that he does things, despite feeling like he has the information that he needs to get to the important people. It's very different from his normal, like, yeah, I'm Jeff Goldblum, Jurassic Park character.
Yeah.
It became kind of his shtick.
Now okay. Did you watch Jeremy John's review of Independence
Oh,
Day?
I didn't. I saw it, but
Yeah, so
I
he
didn't
recorded
see
it. It was
I didn't
like
watch
4 years ago, I want to say.
Yes,
he-
it was 4 years ago. I saw that.
My daughter and I were watching it, and it was funny. He really sold this bit where he was just like, they actually were, they were here to make friends until we flew up with the helicopters and accidentally flashed them the sign for "We're going to attack you." And it just, I mean, and of course he delivers this very, very well because he's a funny guy. But yeah, just I always feel like, is this a nod to Close Encounters, where they're trying to be like
yes.
the
Yes,
lights
it is.
somehow? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we?
There are actually written protocols for how we would deal with alien encounters if they showed
Yes.
up.
What
And
what is
one
the
of them
light
is,
signal
you know-
supposed to say? Like, what universal language is it based on? Like, I get.
I think it's supposed to be the idea that it's drawing the attention, like, look at this. This is directed towards you. Don't look at anything else. Just look at this. That type of thing.
You punched the president?
And
He wasn't the president then.
so a funny thing about this movie and this scene, I mean, is they use these miniatures. Again, no real helicopters were used in this scene that I'm aware of.
The Royal helicopters were harmed
But-
during the making of this film.
Well, the miniatures were. One of the things about this is that as it gets destroyed here in a second,
Oh, you're going to
the
steal my
model,
point.
it actually was a mistake that the explosive went off.
Yes.
And they
Okay.
just happened to be rolling. And they were able to do that. They were able to film it and use it because it looked better than the thing they were actually trying to film, but it was a complete accident.
Yeah. No, it's coming up when this gets shot. There's little mistakes in this movie. For as much as, so this movie won an Academy Award for special effects, and it deserved it. These guys nailed it. But one of the things, even in the theater, I was like, oh my gosh, this helicopter started to blow up before the actual energy blast hit it. The timing was a little off, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's little things like that, but this
Did you know that Dr. Oken is actually visually and named after the visual effects supervisor?
I did hear that. Yes,
Mm.
this is I feel like this is a decent Oval Office set too.
It is pretty big. It's good. It's bigger than the actual Oval Office. In fact, the
Yeah.
majority of sets of the Oval Office are bigger than the actual Oval.
Well, you gotta have room for
Oval
cameras
Office?
as well as people.
Mhm. I always thought that sounded like Morgan Freeman. I actually thought it was Morgan Freeman when I was younger.
The shot,
Just that voice.
Oh,
Mhm.
even as a kid, I'm like, what is going on here?
You're just saying hello.
You're saying hello. It's like, because I mean, we'll get to the movie eventually. I really love Contact, and that was a movie that had a kind of a. It was, I mean, not the only movie that's ever done this, but the idea that if you're going to talk, if you're going to somehow communicate, math is the closest that we have to universal languages. Trying to come up with some version of prime numbers and or basic equations or the elements. You're trying to find something that would supersede language essentially. But okay, so here's we go. We got one of these helicopters. You'll see the flame in it, right there, right there. Yeah, the fireball starts.
But this right here specifically was images of the debris falling was from an accidental detonation that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were talking about that. I was talking about earlier, and you can see the model, the flame inside of it start a good second before the energy blast gets to it. Okay.
Yeah.
The idea, I
They have their own phone.
mean, maybe the Marines could do this, but the idea that you can get from the White House lawn to boarding Air Force One in 9 minutes, I mean, I suppose you could do that if you were this system.
I
So
recently read the book Executive Orders by Tom Clancy, and supposedly they could get the president in the air within 15 minutes.
that's impressive. Think about.
Yeah.
Oh man, the music here, just the big
Mhm.
brass, the big loud, just it's great. It just lends itself to that old school blockbuster feel.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that's kind of lost in a lot of movies these days. Is it she's just this small character, but you recognize her from the conversation? I'm gonna sneeze.
All right. Well, Zach is
Excuse
sneezing.
me. Yeah. But it's like there's so much stuff in this movie that gives it character, like the people at the beginning and this lady and even this guy here in the car with his raspy ass voice. And it gives you the moment of following them. That's so nice. It's like it adds so much character
Yeah.
to the movie.
It's flavor.
But
it's
other movies
yeah.
don't do that these days, or very few of them do. That's one of the things I feel almost should be in something like Dune to humanize this grandiose story. But they don't. I don't know if it's budget or just the way that cinema is these days.
Well, I think it's you either are using your main characters or you're doing, like as much as I love, Denis Villeneuve, if you're not doing your main characters, you're showing the landscape essentially, right?
I paid for Timothée Chalamet. I'm showing Timothée Chalamet.
This is like, oh man, this design, the way it lights. I remember this particular kind of greenish blue glow. This kind of, it's funny. I've actually used this color in my PC a few times, but it's such a distinct color, and the way that they lights the whole thing down, it just gives like. So this Empire State Building model is
Yeah.
okay. So I want to talk briefly. We're
Okay,
gonna get into
I want to talk about the model work.
yeah, the model work. I love that that they built a lot of these models on their sides, so the fireball going up is actually like going towards the camera. Like some really good model work done. I mean, this White House going up was such a good model. Doesn't this movie still hold the record?
Intricately created 1/14th scale model. It was something like 60 feet across.
Yeah.
And they actually blew it up. They only had one shot at it. Same thing with the cities. The cities they actually had at a very specific separate grade in order to control how the explosion moved up it. But it was literally like at a 90-degree angle. And they were filming it from like 9 different cameras in a whole bunch of different places. Just boom.
Oh,
and you can see how like the intricacy of the models as it's blowing up, right?
Yeah.
Because that's something that's still so hard to replicate in CGI.
Yeah.
That it just makes this type of thing so much special.
There's something truly good about like a well done miniature explosion when it's done well. And here, like they're throwing real cars here.
Yeah, they were dropping cars from cranes.
Oh, poor Empire State Building.
Yeah. Oh, that explosion right there. The way that it like explodes in rings like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. They were originally talking about doing the Twin Towers. But they were like, how do we show that? Do we just focus on one?
Yeah, no, it was the right decision to go. And this, I mean, comping the helicopter in front of it, which is great. Man, like, yeah, and just, I'm not sure the exact frame speed that they're showing that in, but it's, and I mean, a little bit of the comp work is not perfect here and there, but this is still a very effective sequence.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like this one. Like, that is very obviously a CG comp one, but that one is an obvious model. Yeah. And being able to control the lighting is a huge thing. It helps convince you of what's going on. Because the lighting, that flying fire truck was just something that they ran out and got from a dollar store. They just really wanted a fire truck because they thought it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But the consistency in lighting is really important here, because um, it merges the miniature and VFX shots with the live action shots.
It's also
It helps you. It helps keep them all in the same world.
it's definitely worth noting also that not that this movie had a small budget by any means, but this movie did not have like an unlimited budget. It for the time it was considered like moderately budgeted. So it's not like that this team just got to do whatever they wanted. They had to get creative with some of these to get this level of effects work. It was like what 70 75 million, something like that.
Well, it was originally about $65 million, I think. And then at one point, the director brought what he had done. He said, "I need some extra money for visual effects,
This kid
or else
just
this
screaming.
movie's going to be crap."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay, it's yours."
Yeah.
And
Money well spent.
because they were impressed with what they'd seen. But yeah. I always remembered that shot for some reason, like slow-mo shot of her like turning back and looking. It's a very drama shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that she
Is this a real tunnel in LA? I don't know LA well enough.
It might be. Of course, though, you got the the dog's got to make it here.
Right? No killing dogs.
Do
allowed.
not kill the dog. But this is also one of those areas where you can tell it just looks like something behind the dog, right?
Yeah. That even when I was young, I recognized that probably wasn't a very good special effect.
I really liked, and I still do, the whole July 2nd, July 3rd, and then July 4th, the little transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And this shot right here with the Statue of Liberty, face down in the it's a good shot. And the glow of the weapon kind of closing up. It's just that aftermath, because I think
quick, and then they have that fade into this shot. It has him towing the plane. Okay.
Yeah.
He keeps his little crop duster through this whole thing. And the reason why is because at the end of the movie, he was originally supposed to be flying the crop duster during the final battle.
Yeah, and have like a missile like duct taped to the side of it.
Yeah. And it apparently the test screenings, people laughed at it and were like, "This is so stupid."
Yeah,
so
even a film like this can take it too far, right?
Like 4 weeks before the movie was scheduled to come out, they added that previous bit that we saw of the news story of him being a Vietnam veteran who flew fighters in order to make it make sense, and they ADR'd in the later line of "I'm fighter, I'm pilot."
Well, and they would have had to quickly shoot a little bit of him in a cockpit, right?
Yeah,
because they wouldn't have had any footage of him. And I love how.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they might have the F-18 cockpits in this movie are utter nonsense. Like
oh yeah,
just like
that's the best way to put it.
Oh, just yeah. Okay, I want to start talking about this now a little bit, just because it's going to take me a little while. One of the biggest things that always has bugged me, even though I totally understand the desire to have dogfights, that they wanted dogfights, it just was a stupid idea from the very beginning. They literally call it like Sidewinders and AMRAAMs. Those are missiles designed. So when we get like to the point here where like the fighters, the F-18s, and they show some F-14s and 16s and background shots and stuff like that, but it's primarily the F-18 Hornet. It's an air-to-air combat fighter, and the missiles that it fires are designed to take down other either bombers or fighters. Well, an Earth-built aircraft doesn't need to take a lot of damage in order to fall out of the sky. Like a Sidewinder, for instance, has a 20-pound warhead. That's it, 20 pounds. Now that might, that's not a lot of explosive. It's plenty to take down a fragile aircraft. And even an AMRAAM is only like 30, 35 pounds of. The idea that a 15-mile wide disc would have any more than just the paint chipped off it, even if every single missile that these fighters fired impacted perfectly, is a stupid idea. It makes no sense. You would want to, and even as a kid, I'm like, no, you fly B-52s over the top of these things and you carpet bomb, World War II fashion. the tops of these alien ships, and the fighters are flying cover. And I actually, in my mind, was thinking you could still have the dogfight. You could still totally have the escort fighters
Like,
and
yeah, a
focus on
defensive
them.
thing.
Yeah, and they are defending bombers that you would send in to carpet bomb the top of the alien ships, which is an actual plan that might actually work, and you would still get all of the fun dogfighting stuff, right?
That would be really cool. Why didn't you make this movie, Brian?
I mean, it's just I don't again, to quote Harrison Ford, I don't think it's that kind of movie, kid.
Yeah, but
Anyways.
it kind of is that kind of movie.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like it is this entire plan of we're going to destroy the aliens by firing Sidewinder missiles at it from an FA-18 is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, you need some pretty hefty ordnance
Yeah.
added to it.
You need bombs,
You need, like,
lots
bunker
of bombs, big 500-pound, 2,000-pounders, like lots of bombs.
Yes, Iron Man stuff. The ex-wife.
Oh man, I also
I'm
it's I mean they do have the you can tell again. I mean they really do the Star Wars thing here, right? You got the fighters going in, you have the people back in the command center. They've even got like the screens they're looking at that like can tell you about the status of the fighters. I mean this is Star Wars again, totally.
Yeah. Apparently, this is supposed to be parodying Jesse Jackson.
I mean he was a big
I'd
figure
never
at this
heard
point.
the man speak, so I never knew that growing up.
This is going to either piss people off or make people smile. Most of my knowledge of Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, are actually from listening to. My parents always had Rush Limbaugh going when I was a kid in the 90s, and so listening to him parody Reverend Jackson. And I'm sorry if that pisses you off if you're listening, but that's how I grew up. I can't deny it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I remember like them making jokes about him on Futurama, just like they're at his tomb, and it's like a holy site in future New York. It's like buried in ceremonial vestments. Yeah, we just called that a tracksuit.
All the missile trolls. I mean, we've got some good shots coming up here,
Yeah,
and
very
this
well
was
done
some of
with
the early. I'm pretty sure they had to actually create some of the CG programs that would do the. There's no way that you could do traditional model work for all these FA-18s and alien fighters, and so a lot of these programs and CG systems were created for the first time for this film, I believe, right?
I tried to find some information on that, but I couldn't find out like the exact systems that they were using. But I know that at least some of it was new, but some of it was also used from previous movies.
Yeah, a lot of these. I mean, these fighters they look good for being CG fighters from the mid '90s. It's not bad.
CG and
models.
miniatures.
Yeah, but
Lots
I
of
mean,
miniatures.
there are definitely shots of pure CG FA-18s, and they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
look horrible. I mean, they look they don't look as good as they would today, but you wouldn't guess that they're 30 years old.
That's just so Star Wars. That's Porkins.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's a lot of enemy fighters.
The sound effects for these fighters is really good.
Yeah. Well, you need to give your aliens a very distinct noise. The sound of their weapons, the sound of their engines. I mean, again, like you said, Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is as much as music and sound effects as it is anything else.
Oh yeah, I can hear TIE fighters in my sleep.
Even
I
here,
remember there was some
the
VHS. I don't
little
remember which
details
one.
of the alien laser blast, like their blast hitting the shields as they overshoot the F-18s. Even little details like that. I mean, it's good.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about the sequel that's so disappointing is they just turn it into a whole bunch of noise. Like it's the little battles that they have are impossible to follow properly. You don't get really cool moments like these ones. Yeah.
Man, look at the top.
I
Go
like
ahead.
that one of the things we didn't talk about is that they're freaking flying saucers. Like straight up, they're flying saucers. Um, and I don't know, I love that. Yeah, there's those CG fighters.
Yeah, this movie, like you said, it combined so many very classic sci-fi tropes, but it modernized it. I mean, for the time, really, really well.
Yeah.
And even here,
Get
the
it
idea.
out of there.
Oh man. Okay, this whole sequence.
Yes,
Oh,
this is a really good sequence. They built like so much of a canyon, like as a miniature for them to fly through.
I love the speedometer in the F-18.
Woo! They
That's
didn't
what I'm
have
talking about.
those, you mean?
And then even here, this character's about to die, and they're like playing it for laughs until the very last second. Then all of a sudden, it gets
Mhm.
very serious. Like they pivot from jokes to serious. I mean, really fast in this movie.
And that's a thing I saw some contention on. It's just like this is a fighter pilot, one of the most elite, and he's breaking so easily, which I don't know. That's one of those things. I'm like, he's being
No,
chased by aliens.
this is
Like,
a unique situation. I always love the
I feel
cigar
like a
here.
panic attack is okay.
The tiny
cigar?
the
Yeah.
cigar drop. Just a tiny little moment there, but really effective. I thought.
Now, this moment, I've heard it described as stormtrooper aim. They're like not hitting any of the planes. That's because it's a real shot, and they wouldn't let them put any of the pyrotechnics near the planes.
No, I mean, if anybody doesn't know that a modern fighter, even a basic one, is still 15-20 million dollars a pop. They're not cheap.
Yeah. So they actually were working with the military um, to make this movie, but then they wouldn't change the script and remove references to Area 51 because Area 51 was still just an urban legend. It hadn't been confirmed as a real place yet. They were like, take that out. And they're like, no. Like, take that out. No. And they withdrew all their support and they had to like rummage up um like new models and new planes for all their stuff. Like,
He's so quippy this whole
wait.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, hope you got an airbag coming up here. Just
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many one-liners in this movie. It is like
Mhm.
the one-liner per minute rate in this film has got to be pretty high.
Yeah. This is actually a really big model. They if you notice like the flak coming off that thing.
Well, yeah, you can
They-
tell the ratio of how big the dirt looks. I mean, yeah, it looks proportional. It looks correct.
Yeah, that was like a 15-foot model.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
that landing. It
Yeah.
just broke your
that
back,
was not
man.
a soft landing. Like your knees just shattered.
Yeah. This whole
Though the
this
whole
is
thing
such-
of him going limp.
Yeah. This is like this becomes kind of quintessential Will Smith, the way that he, does so many of these. Like just all this, and he's just big man. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Ship all banged up. Just oh man. This
Like,
is
I feel
very
like
American.
This is the
though,
scene
right?
that defined him.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he punches him too, and you find out later he's not even punching the actual alien's face. He's punching his suit, and he knocks him
Yeah.
out through this. Basically, it's like punching somebody's helmet and knocking them out.
Yeah, there's some theories about that. The biological aspect of these aliens is pretty interesting. I watched way too many videos. Do you know what they call these aliens?
I have no idea.
For years they were just referred to as the locust because that's what the president refers to them as at the end here. It's just like they're like locust, but they were given official names. They're referred to as the harvester species
Okay.
by Roland Emmerich. That's what he put them as in the original script, and he refers to them as that in Resurgence, and that's what they're kind of known as. Which, by the way, they also make a cameo in the movie Predator: Badlands. There's a
That's right, they're
skull
on the
in
wall,
Predator
isn't it?
ship.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the alien was in Predator 2. But it's blah 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 blah. They're called the Harvesters. But there's an idea that the suits are so integrated into them that they can actually feel through them.
Interesting. Okay, I had.
I thought that was
Sorry, I was listening to you. I have a feeling that the wide shot right before we came into this whole sequence, the wide shot of Air Force One, I suspect that was a real shot. The Air Force One looked
it was
really
toy.
well. Okay, interesting because it had F-15s escorting it, which don't appear anywhere else in the movie. And those would be the longer range fighters that would be up with it, accurately from this time. It was just like there's something about it that just was like, is different.
It's possible the video I watched was incorrect, but they said that there was no real shots of any planes except for the crop duster at the beginning.
Okay. Well, if they did it, they made the point of putting the correct fighters up with it, because you wouldn't have naval fighters escorting Air Force One over American airspace. That's just, it's not how it goes. So,
yeah,
interesting. So, okay, here's where we do get into a little bit of the. I disagree. The movie really stalls in the middle, but it definitely, compared to the tension building and the pacing of the opening act, it slows down. But there's some really good character stuff happening here. There's still really good scenes coming up. I think that this whole scene's amazing, where he's just, the argument about nukes and all. And then I actually really enjoy the actual deploying of the nuke. I think that that's a real, kind of nod. We talked about it in the original War of the Worlds. They're tipping their hat back to that War of the Worlds, right? And there's so many good scenes that I never was aware when I was younger that the movie kind of slowed down in the middle. Even though it makes sense to me now as an adult, kind of looking at it more critically, I have no memory of being 15 and watching this movie and going like, oh, it's kind of dragging. Can we just get to the end now? Because the character stuff, as much as it's cliche and as much as it's simple, is still really fun. And it's still really, really well done by actors who... And the thing is, too, I feel like there's not actors in this movie that are just kind of phoning it in. I feel like every actor in this movie is just, they know the kind of movie they're in, they're having a good time, and they're not just phoning it in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This whole scene, though, that's not entirely accurate. It's like
the look on his face with that's not entirely accurate is one of my favorite parts. Like you
so
just get
just
that right there.
And then Jeff Goldblum.
Now you're telling me?
And then the whole which part? It's just good. It's good stuff. Oh man.
But yeah, a lot of the deleted scenes that were put into the extended edition centered around this survivor group. Vivica A. Fox with the first, finding the first lady and all this stuff, and defending her. There was a scene that was deleted that I don't even know if it was in the extended edition, but I know there was a deleted scene that I watched that was her defending them against some scavengers who were trying to steal their stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal and stuff like that. But I was always confused by this, and I'm just like, why is she just sitting there? And it wasn't until I was older that I realized, oh, that's a big crashed helicopter behind her with the seal of the president.
Yeah, she's hurt.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Now this is the other one. Oh man, so many of these scenes were quoted, and we said them back to. I mean, again, as teenagers and people of this era, just oh man, we would quote these lines back and forth to each other for the next 2 or 3 years nonstop, because they were just so it was iconic. Just this shot of him out in the salt flats.
The what the hell was that smell is actually very famously improvised, because they were filming on the Utah salt flats, right? And about 100 miles away is the Great Salt Lake, that during this time of year is filled with dead little, I want to say prawns, dead shrimp and krill and stuff like that. Not krill. Dead fish of some kind. And they just bake in the sun, and the smell carries over the entire thing. and apparently it just smells awful. And they were like super hot. And I love that they filmed on location. These days, they
Yeah.
probably film that on like a volume.
They filmed a ton of this on location. They did a lot of establishing shots in New York, in LA, in DC, and then out here, actually in the Salt Flats.
Love that. Well done,
great.
movie.
This is great. Just the whole like, trust me, it's there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, all right, we'll trust you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. That's definitely not a real shot. But the fact they have F-18s, F-15s, it just always struck me as like a little detail I liked. And there he is.
Maybe they wanted to use a lot of them, but they couldn't.
Yeah. I do wonder why they picked. Because the F-8, oh no, that's where the plane looks a little fake behind him for sure. I do wonder, did you get any information in your research as to why they picked the F-18 as the kind of hero fighter versus
No idea.
a 15 or a 16 or a 14?
I don't know. I wasn't able to find anything about that. I looked more into like the visual effects than the actual military technology. Like I looked at some of the guns, I looked at some of the bombs and things like that, but I didn't look at the actual fighter planes. Yeah, just not something that
it
crossed my mind.
It was one of the newer models, of the time. So yeah, I do love that moment too of just with the president, like, yeah, sir, it's a clean room. I'm really sorry. And the president's just like, we are way past this, just open the door. But yeah, Adam Baldwin.
Yeah. And that is Adam Baldwin, who's a favorite of ours. We previously saw him in movies like Serenity. That's here on the channel. And he's great in everything, and he has always deserved better than he gets with shows like Chuck and Firefly. And freaking what's the name of that stupid thing? The Last Ship.
Oh, that's right.
Which just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Started so good and ended so stupid.
Then here we go. Here's the man himself. Okay, I wonder,
Brent Spiner.
Did he put on a little weight for this? Because I feel like his face is definitely a little bit, or did they do some prosthetics? Because he's a lean man when he plays Data, but his face looks just more soft, if that makes sense.
I believe that he actually was a little bit fat for this, because this was before they filmed Star Trek First Contact. He had to get back into shape for First Contact, because he was after Next Gen ended and they filmed
Generations like immediately after.
He finally got the chance to just not have to be on this stupid diet and be thin all the time. And he got to just pudge out a little bit.
And I don't say any of this to be mean. Just if anybody's curious, I can imagine being in like Data shape for 7 years plus, filming Generations. So probably about 8 years. That would just that would get old in a hurry. Because I'm pretty sure didn't they started filming Generations like the week after they ended filming All Good Things, right? Wasn't it just like immediately?
It was very fast. I don't know if it was that fast, because I know that they got like entirely new costume and wardrobe.
Yeah, but it was. It was.
Yeah, they had all the sets and still and everything.
Yeah, but I loved seeing Brent Spiner in this. I actually did not catch him like in any of the before, so he was a surprise for me when he showed up the first time I saw this. It was a very there he is. It was just a really cool moment of discovery for me, just watching this going like, it's Data. It definitely made me smile. At this point in my life, I had no idea who Adam Baldwin was. So, that's okay. Because, Firefly wouldn't come out, 2001 is when Firefly happened?
2002.
2002.
But this model right here, they built this entire ship. They wanted it to be 100 feet across, but it couldn't fit in the hangar that they were building it on. So they shrunk it down to 60. But they built the whole thing because they couldn't get any CG to look correctly, to look good. And they're like, no, we're building this thing. One of the funniest things, all right, I watched a video that's done by a guy by the name of Roanoke, okay? And he was a scientist. That was his previous job. He was a chemist, biochemistry. And he was just like, this is the most accurate depiction I've ever seen of a scientist on film. All the social skills of a chicken nugget dropped on the floor. Like, they don't get out of the lab very often. They're like this. They're
Oh.
nice. They're great people. They're cool. A lot of them are like this.
Yeah. Man, these
these
are cool
aliens.
models. 'Cause you can
Mhm.
tell that this is all practical.
Yep.
And, oh, man, they look good.
They were gonna have them hanging there, but apparently something about the skin didn't look right. It looked fake, kind of paper mache. And so they're just like, nope, put them in a water tank, and they had to like get these special tanks made and fill them with water and put the bubblers in there and crap. And it was a huge pain in the butt.
Well, they always reminded me of the Bacta tanks from Star Wars.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The novelization goes into like what happened. Like one of them was killed in the crash. Two of them tried to escape, very injured, and then one of them got eaten by coyotes and
Oops.
was killed by coyotes because they're so physically like disabled. Like they're so frail from living in these suits and living in space. And there's something about the design of them that make like with their foreheads and the eyes that would make you think that they are probably like aquatic or semi-aquatic, which they lean into a little bit in the second one. Yeah, the idea is that these are the classic grays.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
the Zeta Reticulan grays, but
and I mean, and
they're like
that,
updated.
Yeah, but I mean, and that goes all the way back to again H.G. Wells, the idea of aliens that they would have, their brain would have evolved, and their rest of their bodies, as they use them less and less, would have kind of become less, impressive, and they would have, the whole big heads and the very frail bodies, and like that entire archetype. I mean, you can trace all the way back to classic science fiction, which I love.
Mm.
What would you do if you're like a security post and you're like, this guy, this is Kowalski from Stargate.
Oh my god, that is Kowalski from Stargate.
Yeah, he had a little
The
cameo.
only actor to
And
come
just
over from
like-
the movie into the TV show died in the second episode of the series.
Yep.
I
Just
never noticed that.
oh, funny. I love this whole scene too of like, come here. I got an
Okay.
alien.
Do you imagine that thing smell?
Oh, it'd be nasty.
I always remember this other guy though, okay? Because I thought he was the dude from ER. But he's just this like red-headed, red-faced, like small, dark little eyes. It's just it's weird, you know? Just one of those things. You know how you notice weird things as a kid and you just latch onto them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love this whole too. General Gray, he is so fired up about this. Again, he's the one guy that never cracks a joke. He's just,
Yeah.
that's like an intense scene. That's good. I do love that Area 51 has this kind of a control room with like the whole holographic, thing behind it and the big, like NASA style screens. Area 51 just happened to have one of these, just in case.
Yeah.
Again, this is, you could film, you could change out a few things. You could change out the computers and the chairs and shoot Star Wars in this set and it would work.
Yeah.
This is a rebel base.
This feels very Stargate also.
Yeah, very Stargate. I mean, yeah, very Stargate. It's just, like you said, you could turn this into rebel base. You could turn this into, SG-1, and it would just be a redress. It'd be a quick and fast redress to make this work.
I mean, that's one of the classical things about, science fiction, especially this time. This could even be in Battlestar Galactica.
Almost.
It's just the aesthetic that you want for gritty science fiction, because that's one of the things about this movie that I think really works. This is gritty science fiction. It's not high-minded science fiction. It's not Dune, but it's got that dirt. Everything feels gross and dirty.
This is where
Oh yeah,
the movie actually manages to have some emotional beats here. I mean, there's a little bit here. So I mean, Jen, absolutely, my wife Jen. When we get to the scene where his the president's wife dies, and the daughter, she absolutely cries every time she watches that scene.
Well, yeah, that's a really good scene, and Mae Whitman was a really good actor, even from a young age.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the stuff. I mean, there's this movie. It manages to still have, and I think part of it here. I think the music is doing some heavy lifting here, right?
Yeah, music is important.
Yeah. Like they managed to give these characters just enough humanity where you do empathize with them, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
First time I ever took the subway. Thank God for the Metro Rail.
I always forget that LA even has a subway.
A lot of people that live there do also. I love the detail because it's so realistic that like one kids kind of adapt really quickly, and that he was just scavenging toys, and he has like this pile of toys that he's been
Yeah.
collecting as they were going through the ruins of LA, which a kid would absolutely do.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole scene though,
This is okay. For those of you who don't know, Mary McDonnell, who plays the president's wife in this thing, shortly thereafter, 5 years after this movie, no, shorter than that, like 6 years. No, longer than 5 years.
about to say six is
7 years.
shorter than 5.
I'm sorry, my math is correct. My words are bad.
Not mathing.
But she was a cast member on the revolutionary science fiction TV show Battlestar Galactica, which I have a lot of love for. I also have some major mixed feelings on. It is not the masterpiece everybody says, and I will die on that hill.
Okay.
But she is a particular highlight. She plays
Yeah,
the
she's fantastic.
president in that show.
Laura Roslin.
And there is not a scene in that entire series where she is bad. She's so good. I love this sequence, though. This entire thing, okay? I think this sequence inspired the Dr. Octopus scene in Spider-Man 2. The surgery scene in that, which is one of the best parts of that movie. And it's a very good movie.
It's a good
but
jump.
This is so alien. Like the design of it, it's reminiscent of the Xenomorph, but it also looks like it's made out of bone. The coloration,
Yeah,
and
this is a heck of a. Whoever built this prop did a fantastic job.
And the little details of like the lady just putting her hand up so you know that it smells.
Yeah. Oh.
Like
this, and again,
the pearlescent skin.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
The arm is moving.
The arm is moving. Dun dun dun. Because, like, the mirror eyes is such a good effect.
Yeah. Well, and like the mirror eyes, the eyelid going sideways, the fact that it kind of crawls out of its own. Oh, it's just.
So that scene right there, okay. But yeah, like right here, go watch Spider-Man 2. The scene where Dr. Octopus wakes up and kills the entire crew.
Oh yeah.
Of surgeons, just like this, and I swear they modeled after that. But that scene of it with its little hands moving out, and it's almost like, honestly, it has kind of like it looks like it's in a vagina. To be honest,
I mean, you're not entirely wrong.
Moving out like that, the way that it moves. Have you ever seen a tarantula move out of a tight space?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it looks like that. Yep. It's evocative of that, and it's so creepy.
Well, it's similar to that. I think of the shot, kind of reverse shot of Shelob in Return of the King, retreating back into her hole, like very similar.
Exactly. And here you have another one of those things where it's showing that the movie, it has its objectives, and it's a little stupid. They're dissecting this thing, and they wouldn't have a full quarantine team ready to take on this thing.
Oh yeah, there's no way that there weren't a bunch of guys with guns just standing around during this operation.
Now, this scene right here, it establishes that these aliens are telepathic. I almost said telekinetic. Telepathic. It also seems to indicate that Dr. Oaken dies. And because Roland Emmerich just decided to evolve into a giant hack, he's like, you know what? I'm bringing Dr. Oaken back, and just has it so that it just put him in a coma for 25 years.
Well, and then doesn't, I mean, I'm spoiling a movie I'll watch this week, but I mean, I don't care about spoilers. I mean, doesn't they have like some kind of leftover, like in the president's mind, like he has some kind of like trauma or brain something from this scene also in the follow up?
I don't remember if he specifically does, but the president does.
That's what I'm talking about. The president, right? He's like,
Yes, that's actually a very strong plot point.
okay. They really managed to make this alien look gooey. Actually, he
Yeah.
reminds me of the skin texture and coloration of the bug from Men in Black.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he's just covered in KY jelly.
Is that glass bulletproof? Of course, they all got their Beretta 92s because
Uh-huh.
that's what you got
And
back then.
I love that it's very simple. This isn't the xenomorph, and you can just look at this. He's dead.
Yeah, he's
He's freaking dead.
yeah.
And then there's just like, nah, he's not dead. We're bringing it back. Freaking bullshit.
And then the sound design of this too, I love because like they had it in that scene where everybody unloaded, and then coming up here, they actually listen for it. They get the brass hitting the floor sound.
Do they?
Yeah, like so right here when he's about to shoot him again, they get that.
Mhm.
Doong.
Do.
Yeah. Just, I mean, it's a tiny detail, but I love that you get that sound of a piece of brass hitting a hard floor.
Yeah.
Although,
New-
oh man, so the Beretta 92 is funny because it's hated by a lot of gun people, but I've always thought that it's such an iconic silhouette for so much of American cinema that I have kind of a love for it historically, even though I don't own one. I have no desire to own one. I still look at it fondly within science fiction and action films of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, you throw it in dirt and you have to strip the whole thing down just to get it to work
Yeah.
again. Where you get a Glock or even a
Even a Sig.
6 Sauer SP like 223 or whatever. You could dunk it in mud and it'll still fire.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't disagree with its reputation. I just it's just iconic, and it's one of those pistol silhouettes that is so instantly recognizable if you know guns.
Mhm.
What is he drinking now? Okay,
Yeah.
is he? It looks like a Johnny Walker bottle.
I don't know. Yeah, that looks like Johnny Walker. I mean,
No,
it could be Jim Beam.
It might be. Yeah, it's one of those square. Yeah, that's not Johnny Walker.
No, that's a totally different sticker. I mean, they probably replaced the sticker.
They probably
so,
did. Yeah,
whatever.
it doesn't have the diagonal
Yeah.
sticker. Okay, their whole relationship, I like that they have kind of the history,
Mhm.
but I do feel like they kind of try to resolve a lot of relationships in this movie. Like they have them, and they have Will Smith and his. They the president loses his wife. They kind of there's a lot of couples in this movie. You realize that?
Oh, you think so?
I don't know if you're being
Do
sarcastic.
you think there's a lot of couples in this movie?
There's a lot of couples in this movie.
Just wait, Brian.
Oh
Just freaking.
no! Oh, I have to watch that movie this week, and I have to give an honest opinion of it next week. This guy, I don't know who this guy is. The actor, this big black guy that comes up, he's great.
Oh,
He's
great.
so good. Just the whole get out of there, and then just tell him I hit you, and he's like, what?
He's like, he kind of takes this like personal offense, like, me?
Just that right there. Yeah, you think okay, and of course it's got to be a Huey because
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
gotta
mean,
be
part of it
Huey.
was the fact that just Hueys were so common,
Yeah. Yeah, they were, and again,
they had
people
so
know the
many
silhouette.
left over from the Vietnam War, as they're getting it that Hollywood just scooped them up.
Yeah. So right there, that shot was basically our entire fleet of B2s because we only
Yeah.
have like 12 of them.
So this is another one of those things where the novelization, which if I'd known it existed and that people actually like it, there's actually a whole group of people online going, "No, dude, read the novelization. It's actually a good sci-fi book." I'm like, interesting.
Do you know who wrote it?
But
Was
it
that Alan Dean Foster?
I did look it up, but I can't remember who it was. But there's this whole thing where there's actually scenes from the aliens' perspective during this during the nuke, and it reveals that they didn't realize that humanity had nuclear weapons. That guy right there.
He's been
Really
in a few
quick.
things.
Okay, he's in Star Trek Voyager. And he's in several other things. He played a really nasty serial killer in a show, but he was also a voice actor. He played this character by the name of Karth Onasi in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then he was the voice of Caden, right? Caden Alenko in Mass Effect.
Yes, thank you. That was the other one I was trying to think of. He was Caden in Mass Effect. And he's just this little bit part in here. Because I remember looking him up after playing Knights of the Old Republic and trying to see him. It's like, he was in Independence Day. Oh my gosh, who was he? Because I'd seen Independence Day so many times. And he's just this little side guy. But anyway, the book reveals that the Harvesters were actually very badly hurt by this strike. And if they had launched a second one, it probably would have destroyed the ship or caused it to crash. But the humans didn't realize that, and they pull back. Like, that's dark.
Yeah, that is. Well, I remember, again, as a kid, just, being very up on myself, my analysis of this movie and, needing to bomb it and that kind of thing. In my mind, I'm just like, okay, an in-atmosphere nuke,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of kinetic energy, like an energy shield, like a projected energy shield that could take that much energy and survive, kind of starts to break the laws of physics at a certain point.
I would actually disagree. It would need to bleed the energy off, but in theory, okay, so you have a nuclear explosion. It's sending out it's thermal, it's radiological, which then combines into just physical force, right? But if you're dealing with an alien spaceship whose entire thing is to go through, like, take this massive structure and bring it into the atmosphere of planets, the shields are going to need to be able to absorb, deflect, and re-radiate intense amounts of radiological and thermal energy, right?
Yeah, but the difference in energy of it being spread out over that large of a ship versus in one very focused point.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's also not against. It doesn't break my brain.
No. It's not even close to the biggest offender in the film, but just the idea that, like, that would be. And I'm glad that you say that in the novelization, the idea that. And the movie never says this; it just implies it. But the idea that the aliens shrug it off, like it's no big deal to take a nuke to the shields, was like, okay, come on, it would have done something. And it's nice to know that
where it was written after, so they were able to improve upon it. You know?
Yeah. I also, though, in my mind was like, that B-2 launched that nuke really close to that ship. Way too close for it to get to safe range before the impact happened. So that B-2 absolutely got destroyed by that nuclear explosion.
Allahu Akbar.
This whole sequence is just
a well done scene.
This is the most, I think this is the most, like, heavy dramatic moment of the entire movie. And in a movie that is both very dramatic but very comedic, this is like the one part where they really don't try to undercut the tension with a joke of any kind. And I think
this is just one of those things where this shows what Roland Emmerich was really good at. And he deserves a little bit more credit, I think, than what he gets for being able to pull off stuff like this, you know?
Well, I think of this, and I think of how many moments, in the Patriot did he nail the emotional scenes, especially with kids. The scene where Mel Gibson's daughter speaks for the first time in that movie breaks me.
Yeah,
it's so powerful, and a lot of that is I mean, think what you will of the man, but he was a good actor. Mel Gibson is such a big part of what sells that scene. But yeah, he does know how to do these dramatic moments for sure.
So how the hell does he keep making Moonfall?
I don't
And
know.
like, what the heck was Godzilla?
I don't know. Okay, Godzilla is objectively horrible, and I kind of love it. It's so bad.
I know, I'm the same way. I grew up
It's
with it.
so
I like it.
bad.
I asked my dad to buy it for me on VHS, and he was like,
Oh,
didn't want to, but he did anyway.
I
And I
cannot.
remember the guy, the clerk, being like, "Oh yeah, this is a better movie than people give it credit for." And my dad was just like, "Yep."
no, no, there are movies that are objectively rough that I will defend. Like to me, a big one would be like Armageddon. I will defend Armageddon all day long.
Mhm.
Godzilla, I will enjoy it, but I can't defend it. I can't.
Well, I was thinking of, it's one of those things where I was thinking of trying to find room in our schedule to do a 3 or 4 movie binge of Godzilla, 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 Godzilla minus zero,
Mm,
or minus one, because it's the same movie done 4 different ways
yeah.
so well. Yeah, I would love to watch those ones.
Mommy's sleeping. Yeah, just the way that he delivers that line, and this little girl, she does a good job.
Yeah,
Just
man, I keep telling you.
And again, the music here, this musical cue is just it's so good. And then the
Very
like
good.
fade here to July 4th. It's the perfect time to be like here, and here we go. Here's
Well,
the final
because
day.
this was just like this was a whole bunch of defeats, right?
Yeah.
Like the nukes didn't work, the planet's poisoned.
I mean,
um,
did they kind of basically
Oh.
do the Star Wars trilogy in one movie?
yeah. I mean, well, it's the 3-act structure.
Yeah. The classic 3-act structure.
of
but
like the problem, the defeat, and then the strike back. Right here, he kicks a barrel or something. Right there, art department on the bottom of
Yeah.
the trash can, because it was from the art department.
whoops. Oh man. Oh. He would.
There
Man,
was supposed to
Jeff
be
Goldblum,
a,
he looks so okay. I forget which YouTuber it was saying that this is. I think it might have been Jeremy Johns. That you can also look at this movie as this is like the left and the right coming together and like killing the aliens, because you got Jeff Goldblum, who's like the nerdy scientist obsessed with recycling and very progressive, and then you've got your Randy Quaid character, right? Just like
oh my god, right?
but they come together.
Yeah.
In unity to destroy
well,
the aliens.
There was supposed to be a subplot here of his dad, or not subplot, but deleted detail, where his dad was supposed to have been a rabbi. And this is kind of him regaining his faith.
Mm. And then
And
I love the idea here that like this all happens in one day. Like he has the idea, writes the code, this whole thing, the speed
there
at which
was
this
gonna
happens.
be that in the extended edition. Actually, there is a there is a scene where he's in the alien ship, dissecting it and learning their computer systems to the best of his ability, and going over the information from the scientists here to from the scientists to be able to understand it. But this is straight up War of the Worlds. Like they
Oh, yeah.
they took from War of the Worlds, right?
He asked the president, like,
Um,
"You sure you want me to shoot this thing in here?" Oh man, this would be so loud in this hangar.
In a movie that's this long, to take the time to do this entire demonstration was really ballsy. I feel like in most movies these days, they would just kind of show a simulation on a computer.
Oh yeah,
or
you would
something,
cut this down because I think you either go longer, you either go like the full like 2.5, two almost 3 hours long, or you trim this movie down to like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't.
No, I also love that this model that they built of the alien ship had all the patchwork of like where we repaired the hull and it's got the plating on it and stuff underneath. I should have pointed that out earlier.
Yeah.
But this, oh man, I mean, this is one of those that yes, even at the time you're like, all right, so we like these guys. interstellar travelings, but we were able to in a day, not even a day, in a couple hours, write together a computer virus that they couldn't immediately be like, oh, this is cute of the humans to try this.
I was too young to be like, this is dumb. I was just like, hell yeah, do it.
It's a heck of a drawing behind him. Also,
Oh.
somebody sketched out the world and the alien ships, and it's a nice little sketch he's got to work with. And the fact too that it's
Yeah.
it's taped to a whiteboard and it's drawings with marker, instead of being on a holographic display or like he's running some kind of simulation. We weren't quite to the everything is always on a big screen or a hologram stage, right?
Yeah, and I'm really glad of that. I miss the really down to earth versions of it, because when it's done to kind of signify, ooh, look how bad it is. Look how ironic it is that they have to resort to this.
This guy, of course, does this guy have a single likable moment in the entire movie?
Yeah, a little bit later when he
Oh,
joins the
to Prayer
prayer circle
Circle.
with kids.
That's right. He joins
Mhm.
the prayer circle. Oh. This is
Yeah.
also just the
I-
ultimate kind of all these people just manning up, right? All right, I'll do it. I'll go. You do it.
Yeah,
Just make this happen, Everybody's stepping up.
and they do have the logic of he's the only one who would be able to do it.
Yeah.
He is the most qualified individual, even if it's only by a sliver. Also, one of the things that I feel should be noted is that one of the things I think about with this movie is, when thinking about this movie, I should say, is the great chemistry between Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. The fact they don't have more scenes together is
They only just met, and the movie's almost over.
Yeah.
Their chemistry begins right here,
oh, but it's
and they carry it through the rest of the movie.
yeah, their chemistry is a big part of why the final act of this movie works so well. I mean, it works well because it's a big, grandiose thing. The president's speech obviously is amazing, but if they weren't so much fun together in the alien ship, it would detract so hard from the ending of this movie.
Well, did you read about their experience filming together?
I did not, or if I did, it's been so long ago I've
They were
forgotten.
stuck on this hot, nasty set. And some people even think that it was messing with their minds, like they were in some sort of delirious exhaustion. But they ended up filming 6 hours longer than they were supposed to, solely because they kept goofing off, the two of them. They
Nice.
were riffing off of each other to an absurd amount.
I love this.
Mm.
Just so the president really you can tell, and I do think it makes sense from a character point of view. The idea his wife has died, and it's
Mhm.
he's done.
And he was a fighter pilot, and
Yeah.
he's been feeling so he's been feeling helpless and
Yeah.
kind of neutered, and he's finally given a little
This-
bit of hope.
Okay,
You know?
this background guy. Sorry, this background guy to the left of the guy talking. He keeps he's holding his gun and he keeps pointing it around, finger fully through the trigger, just no gun handling of any kind.
Okay.
Here he's still carrying it,
Yeah,
just
but
flagging
no,
everybody.
Look at the Arab guy.
He's
Look
just-
at the guy with the
oh
beard.
yeah.
Okay?
He's an Iron Man.
Yeah, he's the guy that was the slave driver.
Yes, it's great.
Mhm.
And of course you get the music here.
The music.
and just
The
immediately
music.
it's it's Hunt for Red October.
Yes, we're in Russia because it sounds like Russian.
It sounds like
music.
Russian. And then, well, this is of course China. I'm assuming.
Yeah, and God, the freaking
But then the subtitle says speaking Japanese. Okay, so no, that's Japan.
yeah, because he was Japanese.
He was Japanese. I'm
we still weren't
sorry.
on very
I'm
good
so
terms
sorry
with
to
China.
everybody from Asia. I'm an ignorant American. I don't know better.
Don't worry about it. The next movie. Well, we'll just talk about China when it comes to the next movie when we get there. Okay?
Were they trying to sell tickets in China, so to speak?
You remember Iron Man 3?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They go hard. It was peak. We
So-
need to appeal to Chinatown.
So this was all happening. So this is supposed to be early morning, right? Still.
Yeah.
So all of that happened overnight. Like the
Mhm.
plan, the code, everything. Like it's so early the sun hasn't even come up. It's freaking July in the desert. The sun would be up at like 4:30 a.m. So no time has gone by here.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy to the right of Randy Quaid with like the sunglasses and the white shirt. He's
Mhm.
he's great because the other guy
Yeah.
with the red
He just
shirt.
steals the scene.
These characters, they're just they're awesome. I also love
Randy
the
Quaid is such a
pardon
weird
the expression,
individual.
get a crash course in modern avionics. Okay, this is when was American? It was way after this, right? This is way after Christmas Vacation was made, right?
Yeah. This was just before he got into all of his legal trouble for
That's
like
right.
tax evasion, and he tried to flee to Canada and got sent back and all this other stuff. And he was in Brokeback Mountain and he sued uh he sued the production company because he went lower than his regular fee because they told him it was like a small art house movie that wasn't going to make any money. Um and they like lied to him.
This line, sorry, just like the AMRAAM launcher on a stealth. What kind of military jargon nonsense is that line? Sorry, just
I don't know enough about stealth bombers and AMRAAMs, but I'm assuming there's no AMRAAMs on stealth bombers.
there's no AMRAAMs. It's advanced medium range air to air missile. It's an anti fighter missile that other fighters carry. On a stealth.
Oh, I did know that. And why the heck would a stealth bomber be carrying AMRAAMs?
And why would I have a special control pad just to launch them? It's such total BS. But you know
Yeah,
what?
because like
it's
it
fine.
would make sense if the line was about nukes.
Yeah.
Like just like the nuclear, like swap out the word AMRAAM with atomic or something,
Yeah. I do love too that apparently tactical nukes is just generic for nukes in a missile like that instead of no, a tactical nuke is actually a very specific yield of nuke designed to
Yeah.
be actually smaller. It's actually I think people they think oh it's a tactical nuke. It must be like no tactical nuke's like a little nuke instead of like a big
Yeah,
nuke, which
we
I think
don't want
people
a tactical nuke.
no I
We
I want the big ICBM version.
I was gonna say we want the warhead off an ICBM.
Yeah. Give me a Trident, not a not.
Give me a Tsar Bomba.
There you go. Something
For
with
those of you who are
hydrogen in the
unfamiliar,
title.
the Tsar Bomba is the single largest nuclear weapon ever
Oh, yeah.
detonated,
Of course, the
and
Russians
it was
did it.
actually half the yield of the original that they wanted to do.
They're like, we
And
should dial this back a little bit.
Yeah, it broke windows like 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, that
The
was the one
Tsar
that,
Bomba should not exist.
yeah, that was the one the Russians detonated like in the mountains, like of Siberia, right? Like back in the
I want to say
60s?
Greenland.
no, it was definitely Russian, but I mean, yeah, it was it's nuts. It made the Bikini Atoll test seem mild.
Yeah,
I do appreciate
and
the
I liked
detail.
this scene.
Yeah,
This is a really good inclusion. I think this is great. Like, he doesn't care about marrying a stripper. He's I don't know. It's good. Okay, it makes the characters feel kind of complete, but it's also driving home like the danger that they're going to be in here. You
Yeah.
know.
I appreciate that they didn't give any dialogue between Jeff Goldblum and
Mm-hmm.
I forget the other actress' wife. This whole, of course, too. So this, correct me if I'm wrong.
This.
Correct me if I'm
I
wrong,
love
but
this.
they added the last line to this speech to force the studio to spend the money to secure the name Independence Day, right?
That is correct.
Okay, but this, I mean, again, I was so like all, I was so frustrated at Oliver on YouTube that he would like kind of crapped on this speech, and I'm like, yes, it's cheesy, it's corny, it's ridiculous, and it's amazing. This is
It
just
was written like because part of the thing is that it feels so sincere. And one of the reasons why is because this is literally like we need to do a little bit more of a speech. And they wrote it. Dean Devlin wrote it on set on the day, and this was the first take. It was all done in a single take from a bunch of different cameras, and a lot of the cheering was spontaneous. They
Yeah.
weren't told to do that, but they supposedly when they asked the crew about it, they said that it felt right and it's what they should have done. and that Bill Pullman, like, he had the energy going.
Yeah. Well,
So
there is something
maybe
about
that's
it.
all legendary bull crap. I don't know, but I love it.
No, I do too.
I know this speech by heart.
Yeah, no, this and
And
again the music track in the background is amazing. This guy with his MP5 just chilling. Oh,
mm, my dad doesn't like this speech very much, and
really?
I was just like, no, you're wrong. This is great.
No, this is this just cheesy beyond belief? Yes, but it's amazing, and I love it. I will defend this. I think all the way it's shot. This is the kind of movie that needs this kind of speech, and this is one of the best movie speeches of all time. I will defend that.
Yeah.
All day long.
Like, is it Henry V? No, but it's succinct. Okay.
It is, but I think in spirit, I mean I think this is as close to a movie modern interpretation of St. Crispin's Day. I mean it's like you said, it's much shorter. I'm not even trying to say it's as well written, but it has that same effect, right? It has that same motivation to the people that hear it.
And people have tried to replicate it. I mean, the next movie, they try and replicate it like 3 times, and it's never as good. Like, I can't think of another one that comes even close.
The fact that they put the president in the plane. Yeah, I mean, this was an era of the American president being like the hero. Again,
I do like that they set it up. He was running combat missions in the Gulf War, and yada yada yada.
This isn't like
Samantha Carter.
Yeah, and they make him the age where he is. It's not out of It doesn't come out of left field either, as far as like he's an old guy getting back in the saddle. He's still, what is he, probably in his early 50s, late 40s?
What, in this?
Yeah.
No, I think he's supposed to be in his like early 40s.
Early 40s.
Because they even talk about him being young,
That's true. Because the president needs to be 35? Is that the law, I believe, for president?
I believe so.
Which, again,
oh my God,
at the time it was written, 35 was older than it is now.
Yeah.
When the Constitution was written.
Oh, I hope they're able to survive that long.
Well, back then, if you made it to your late 50s, you were like an older statesman.
Right?
Did not live as long.
And one of the great members of, like, you get all the people who signed the Declaration of Independence dying of weird things. That one's dying of syphilis. That one's dying of an infection because he stuck a whale bone up his penis. Seriously, weird stories, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I know you're right. You're reminding me of things and just making me funny. Oh, good little scene here.
Yeah.
The cigars. It's a good moment there. Also, too, the scientist who just turned around there and kind of looking at him, and he's the one that walked up and just said, "It's time." I just feel like he's probably one of those actors that just for his entire life, he's like, I was the guy who walked up and just gave the very solemn, "It's time." That's like probably one of his most, talked about moments.
They bring him back.
Really?
Yeah, because he's had a couple of other parts. He was like walking around behind Dr. Oaken.
Okay.
He's like part of one of the couples in the next one.
Okay.
You'll enjoy that.
Oh, this is just funny.
Oh yeah, this is just like him not. Yeah. Like,
well, I mean, can you imagine? It wouldn't matter if you knew exactly how to fly. Can you imagine sitting in the side of a modern cockpit and being like, "Now figure this out"? It's just the sheer amount of buttons and controls. There's no way.
Yeah, and there's just kind of that like, oh god, like this is all hands on deck. It's not outlandish that he's in that plane because he needs to be. You know.
Well, I mean, they had the line earlier from General Gray saying, we actually have enough aircraft, but it's pilots that we are, short on. So they set it up. But yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, that would be like, again, thinking about Air Force One, that's the idea of like, okay, I've flown Cessnas, and here's a 747. These are not the same thing.
No.
Even if the basic principles are the same. It's a little different, just a little bit.
It's like sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, I paint models. I do some 3D printing. I make some statues." And it's like, "Okay, we need you to carve this marble block." Like, what?
Okay, man, the amount of
Oops.
times that my family has done, this time without the oops. I mean, that is one of those lines to
Oh,
this
mine too.
day gets used so much.
Hmm. Dude, so much of this movie translated into my household too.
Oh yeah.
Like, my sister had this alien toy, okay? And I loved it. I wanted it. I stole it numerous times. It's still in my parents' house because I would sneak it into their like display cases of their cool stuff that my dad's gotten on trips and things like that. And it's still there next to a Borg.
Leave her alone. Just, yeah,
Dave.
their chemistry is great. Just the way
Mhm.
they're like immediately like they come across like an old couple, almost
Yeah, they're
immediately.
immediately an odd couple.
Yeah. Well, like an odd couple, but also like an old married couple is kind of how they talk to each other.
Mhm.
Bringing the air. I appreciate the detail that his laptop is strapped down. You know,
Yeah.
just a little thing, and the tiny bit of a callback here. He gets to go to space, right?
Yeah.
Which is
There's
cool.
that, but then there's also this whole thing just calls back to all the little unnecessary details, you know?
It's a good
His
shot of the
motivation
Earth
is he
right
wants to
there.
go to space. It's also, I like how they give these characters such clear goals. Like, you have the guy who wants to save the Earth, who's into the recycling and stuff like that, and they make jokes on it. You have the guy who, wants to go to space, wants to marry his girlfriend, stuff like that. And they pay it off because so many other movies after it, including Roland Emmerich movies, including the sequel, they have these characters and they don't have goals. They don't have motivations that are clear beyond like what's directly in front of them. We need to save the Earth. I don't care that you need to save the Earth. Tell me why it's such an important thing that you need to save the Earth. That like, what is it that you want to do beyond being paper cutout hero man? You know?
Yeah. That's a good shot. Again, man, there's just the model shots are
Very
good.
good shots.
They also they do a good job of scale for the alien ships moving. They never have them move too fast.
Yeah, they don't zip.
Yeah, they really let them kind of slide around slowly.
Oh yeah, just wait till the next one when you have this planet-sized ship that's just moving super quick.
Yeah. The one thing I actually, design wise, that I always found a little bit boring is actually the mothership up in orbit. I always found this design a little bit kind of odd.
I mean, it looks like Space Dock 1, but like
Interesting. Yeah.
the
'Cause
Xenomorph version.
it's got like the two tendril, not tendrils, but kind of like nubs coming down from the bottom. I don't know. It's just,
Jellyfishish.
yeah. It's a good shot there. Again, just the Earth and space and just coming in.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah. And scale. You said it earlier, scale. They do really well with that, with
Yeah.
these ships, and they kind of double down on it here.
Well, I know Adam Savage on his YouTube channel Tested has talked about it many times about how you make models look huge and just like you get
Yeah.
the little details in there, how you scale them up. I mean, and these models are really well done. I've never actually heard him talk specifically about Independence Day models. I'd be curious because
Oh
I think
yeah,
that
me
there's
too.
some of the best models to just sell you on how big they're supposed to be.
Yeah. I think part of it is just the size.
Yeah.
I mean, not size, the movement.
Mhm.
The movement speed is what sells a scale a lot of times.
This feels almost like Star Trek Motion Picture-esque for a second as I go into this thing.
Oh, for sure. I would not doubt if that was an inspiration. Because this is the type of thing that they never had in a Star Wars, Outside of like, no, I don't think they've ever had anything like this in a Star Wars.
No, not really. And again, the music tells you when you should,
Mhm.
the music is informing how you're,
You should
interpreting
be
what you're
reacting to
seeing.
this giant superstructure.
Yeah.
And then you have this right here, okay? This alien invasion force, this landing force, all right? And like that's something that ties into the second movie is that some of those ships got away, they landed, they caused problems. And that would be an interesting movie.
Mm.
That would be something cool. But yeah, I will talk more about that next week. There's so many things that they could have done with the sequel that could have been really interesting, but it's unfortunately they didn't. But I do like that they at least used elements that they had set up in here.
This is stupid. They can see us. Oh, and then again, you got the jokes.
Power Windows.
Power Windows. Oh man.
Mm.
So I would
Yeah, just-
assume that they're just expected to kind of hang out in their ships. They don't really need to leave. They dock and chill
Mhm.
because there's
Yeah.
no there's no evidence of any kind of like how to get out of this ship and into the main ship.
Yeah, and you never saw him going in or anything. Like you're assuming that there's probably something in the back, but
Yeah. Oh man, uploading virus. Just the simple and the old. Of course, too on down on Earth they've got the. I mean, I know that they had the line about it's the biggest transmitter we could find to kind of sell this, but the idea that they're able to like in real time send updates down to Area 51 and the aliens aren't aware of it.
But it would be really important that they do because it would determine the timing of their attack.
Yeah, that is true.
Like that would be priority one. Is like, how do we know the virus is in? Did we already pass through the good the HAL 9000? Good morning, Dave.
We did. Yeah. Good morning, Dave. Yep.
That's great.
Because it's
Great
got
reference.
it's got that graphic, and then very faintly behind the graphic, you've got the old classic Mac logo. The two smiley face kind of thing.
Yep.
All right,
Come on.
come on.
It's just the tension,
Yeah.
That like I don't really understand because I feel like Roland Emmerich, but there's echoes of it specifically in The Day After Tomorrow, with interestingly enough Randy Quaid's estranged brother Dennis.
Yeah. The Day After Tomorrow is not a horrible movie. It's definitely not anywhere near this level, but it's not some like train wreck.
What's really funny is if you rewatch it and you find out that Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal were never on screen at the same time. They were never on set at the same time. Even though they were playing father and son, it's like the whole motivation between them.
Huh.
Like
I haven't
the
watched that
characters.
movie in at least 10 years.
Like they do well building the tension on that one, but in all of the rest of the filmography where there should be tension, there's some good Patriot moments, but Patriot's not really a movie about tension.
No.
You
No, I feel like Patriot really is. It really is a Mel Gibson trauma movie.
know, it's a war movie.
Yeah, I have a real soft spot for the Patriot. It's not a perfect
Oh,
film,
me
but
too.
I enjoy it.
Mm.
Paybacks. The one thing about this final battle is that the speed of the aircraft, like flying around, it's not super consistent. Sometimes it seems like they're kind of barely floating. Other times it's like they're moving quickly, like the speed of the fighters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so here we got the they do have to set up some tension here. They can't just let him leave. I think this is a fun little. I love the idea that he's got an alien touchscreen.
Yeah, it's just like
But,
poking around.
Yeah, but the see, they can blow up some RVs this time at least.
Yeah.
There we go.
The sound of that French horn throughout this movie is really effective. Like they use it so well for the
How come? Okay.
the tension scenes.
Has
And,
David Arnold
oh no,
done?
was that?
I know he did a bunch of stuff. What has he done recently? David Arnold.
Who?
David Arnold, the composer. I feel like he should have.
I think he's retired.
Is he? I feel like he should be bigger. I mean, he did. Yeah, he did.
That's what I
Godzilla.
always thought. But he's done like all the James Bonds. I know that's
That's
a big
true.
thing for him.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Yeah, he did Casino Royale, and he did Hot Fuzz.
Mm.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace.
But yeah, music department. He did music.
Yeah, the Sherlock
For the theme song
BBCs.
for the new 007 First Light game, which I'm playing right now, and it is excellent.
Okay. Yeah, he was. I mean, just based on what he was doing at this
Sherlock.
time, I feel like he should Yeah, he should have become one of the big names, but just never quite did.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not besmirching his accomplishments. He obviously did a lot of very big known works, but he never moved kind of up into that higher tier of film composers.
Yeah. I think he just kind of cruised on like his 007 stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if he's making good money and he's happy, I mean, it's more power to him.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's weird that they still have like the president and stuff like that. Like, it's still important that he's being guarded. He's just another guy at this point, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about the Corridor Crew revelation coming up?
Yeah. So there's this funny thing. So we both watched this channel called Corridor Crew, and they break down visual effects. And there's one that they did about 2 years ago, where they looked at the scenes from this movie to kind of break down how they did these miniatures and the other like scenes and stuff, right? And it's really cool. They're talking about the model work and all that, and the blending of CGI and practical. And then they just stop and they're looking at the explosion for when Russell flies into the primary weapon. It's the climax of the movie. It destroys the ship. It's like such an important moment. And they're looking at it, and when I was like, wait a minute, they didn't build a separate thing. They just composited the explosion of the Empire State Building from the beginning of the movie. They took that scene, they flipped it upside down, and they put it right there. And they just painted out the little bits of the building.
Yeah.
And it's the same explosion, just upside down.
Did you get that like perfect like stagger? Like you were talking about like the rings, the lines of explosion. I'm actually like, because I watched it briefly after I saw that episode. I just went and watched that scene, and I haven't watched the whole movie since I saw that episode. So I was actually looking forward to this.
The music right here though, like as they're busting out their 30 cal, or 30 millimeters, 20 millimeter.
So this is where he was originally supposed to, 20 millimeter cannon. He would have been in a biplane here originally.
Yes.
And audiences were like...
The original version of this movie has him in a biplane. The crop duster from the beginning.
And they finished it. Like, the effects were done. Like, it was shown to a screening audience.
It was so bad. Like, this is so much better. This is like, good job, test audience. Good job.
Every now and then, test audiences can give you important information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie is definitely guilty of the timing not being right. Like, when they show you the wide shot of like the spikes kind of going towards the middle to prepare it to fire, like they back up and go like several times over, like shots where it shows them moving and they're not even where they were earlier. Like right here, like the distance they are. I mean, it's fine. It's definitely guilty of that. But okay, right here, this explosion. Okay, we've got
this terrible ADR on this kid. Oh God, it kills it. His dialogue is so that the son is such a bad actor.
Yeah, really. Yeah, there's a reason he didn't
so
make it.
So bad in this movie.
Okay, so watch the explosion here. And...
Here it comes. Here it comes. The big hello, boys. I'm back. That was one that a lot of people quoted around me when I was younger. Now that stuck around.
You can absolutely once you're looking for it, you can literally see the Empire State Building. Like it actually flashes. Like you can see it in the explosion. It's a good explosion. They did a good job with it. So like, why not use it again? Mm-hmm. And then the music kicks in here.
Yeah.
The son of a bitch did it. Oh my! I think I remember my mom.
And just this idea, like all they were doing was trying to stop the weapon, and then he looks back and just like, oh no, it's destroying the whole ship.
Yeah, we just discovered something huge.
Like that's somebody write that down.
Yeah, we just discovered the exhaust port on these things, right?
However, these scenes, of the ship like burning from the interior, right there, that was all added. They wanted more money. They're just like, we just had the most important moment of the movie. There needs to be more time here. There needs to be a greater effect. This right here, it crashing.
Okay.
Like, this is the most important part. We need more money for this visual effects. Please give us more money.
Yeah. The other thing, though, as a kid, I always asked about this.
Mhm.
So it was centered over Area 51 about to fire. So isn't the entire base buried underneath the debris of the alien ship
So
now?
the whole thing was that they wanted to communicate, because this is one of the things. They had to complete the shot so fast. They weren't able to do it. They wanted the one scene of it kind of falling down on its side to show that it had listed and was pitching over into the mountains.
Okay.
It was falling sideways as it was trying to escape,
Because
but they
whatever
weren't able to properly put it together. You know?
whatever engine would keep that much mass fighting gravity, as soon as that thing went offline, that thing would drop straight down. Like,
Just wait till the next one, buddy.
okay.
Just wait till the next one. The physics are 10
Atrocious.
times as numbskull.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so this,
Uh.
and I appreciate that they had the full finale, the way you edited this together. Because you think, again, Return of the Jedi, right? You're trying to, and I'm not saying Return of the Jedi actually does a great job, but you're editing between the Battle of Endor.
Return of the Jedi's pacing its editing and pacing is really good.
It is really
that movie
good.
has narrative problems, but its editing and pacing are excellent. And this movie's editing and pacing is excellent.
Yeah.
I don't think it drags in the middle at all. I think it gives you a breath of relief, like between all of the crazy. You know?
Yeah. No, I hear you, but I was gonna say I like that they don't do the traditional, that they let this whole final action scene with them up here kind of happen on
Yeah,
its
they're
own.
not splicing in between, right?
I'm because there's definitely a way you could have edited this film to have all this be happening at the same time, and the aliens being destroyed, the alien ship being destroyed above Area 51 happening kind of right as they're also escaping, and you kind of have the climaxes happening simultaneously.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that they chose to let this scene with them, because this whole sequence is so good, that they let this play out entirely with no cuts back down to Earth.
Well, I like that. I agree. I never really thought of that, to be honest, until my most recent rewatch. That she's like, oh, they're not doing the intersplicing thing. But I remember specifically thinking about that
I
scene.
swear, did that
with,
alien just
them
meow like a
lighting
cat?
The cigars. Yeah, they used a cat sound effect.
They used the cat sound
Um,
for the alien.
Well, a bunch of these squealing effects that they use for these aliens are cat sounds.
That's great. I love it.
Modified cat sounds. I forgot to mention that. But mixed with like electrical distortion, I think it
Yeah.
was, and then like just edited. But there's a whole. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I like the scene of them with the cigars because it has that kind of like we're gonna die, like this
Yeah.
is a suicide run, and we know it, and it gives you that moment that makes you think that they are gonna die, and that would make kind of an extra tragic ending. But at the same time, you're like, oh, as a kid, I never noticed these ships.
Really?
These are the boarding ships.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was an adult, I'm like, oh, those are the ships full of aliens that are going to go invade Earth.
Oh, this is so
Yeah.
good. The way that they just the timing
And
of this,
putting in his classic Jurassic Park line of "must go faster"
yeah.
was such a ballsy move 2 years after the movie
Oh, yeah.
came out. You know,
Well, and to Elvis has left the building. That's great. But having Will Smith just scream gutturally as they just like, we're going. We're either gonna die right here or we're gonna make it out. That's great.
Like I said, you can see these guys are sitting here in this thing for 12 hours goofing off. They're going to have some good scenes to choose from.
Yeah. Oh, not a bad
And that's
like
a
space
pretty
nuke.
famous explosion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very Armageddon.
Oh yeah. Well, this was 2 years before Armageddon, so.
And you can tell that Armageddon was watching closely.
Oh yeah. Just nothing left but the victorious conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, it's back there. They have this scene. The thing broken apart. It's great. And there's the guy. He
Yep.
survived.
He's still there. Yep.
Somehow
He made it.
this redneck.
And of course, you got to have the quick montage around the world.
Uh-huh. Again, this was all added at the end. This is what they got the extra money for. They're like, which is why a lot of these ships look exactly the same in their destruction. Like, we need to add this scene.
I love that they're partying
So-
down in like the clean room. Like that. This is
Yeah,
where
The
everybody's
clean
like,
room is no longer clean.
it's definitely. Oh man, with all the refugees, you can imagine
Mhm.
this room has an odor at this point. The guy with like the straw hat in the background there, I just noticed him.
Yeah,
Oh, it's great.
it is great. This whole ending sequence,
I love
it
the
just works, and the music. Again, we
Yeah.
keep talking about the music, but it's so important, just like the
Oh, it
music
is.
to Star Wars. You know?
the detail there. The closest that Colonel Gray ever gets to breaking is right there. That he doesn't call him Mr. President. He calls him, got him all over the world, Tom. You know, he calls him
Yeah.
by his first name, which would have been a big deal.
Mm.
And it's just like the
Yeah.
little bit of familiarity that lets his character kind of let his hair down, so to speak, for just a second there.
Yeah. Part of me kind of wishes that they let him die. My dad talks about certain things. I love the little detail of Will Smith has gloves tucked into his boot. I don't. It's just funny to me. But like, my dad was talking about how the ending he would have wanted for this movie is essentially like, you have the party, you're seeing the victory and everything like that. This whole like them walking up to each other and just, it works. It's good. But like, imagine if you have this ending where you see the crash and whatnot, and you've got all this stuff going on. They're driving up to it, but there's like crashed alien ships or something, and it looks deadly. It looks dangerous. It doesn't look like they've survived, and pretty much like the last scene of the movie would be like the two silhouettes walking out of the debris from really far away. And that's when you're able to just like end the movie on this kind of like silent victory, not too much talking. You've already
Yeah.
had the really good come down. It doesn't drag out.
Yeah,
But it's kind of like
they
epic
didn't
of
need to
they've
have.
survived.
Yeah, they didn't need to have
They didn't
all
need
of
any of
this.
this.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that this is bad, honestly, but I could see that there's a more restrained ending here
Mm-hmm.
that would have been a little bit tighter. But I also,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, again, it's the kind of movie that they're just having a good time. The kids get to talk about, it's fireworks coming. You pan up, you get to see, the streaks, oh man, can you imagine all the debris falling to earth and just,
Oh my god, right?
oh man.
Another Holocaust.
Yeah, it would have caused some damage. But yeah, this is a movie where I will happily acknowledge the man. Okay, Amazon wants me to play Titanic next. okay.
Oh, let's see what it's gonna say for me. Nothing's coming up for me. Oh wait, I'm on Hulu. It wants me to watch Firefly.
Nice. I forgot this is on Hulu. Anyways, this is a movie that, yeah, it's a big, just audacious, loud popcorn movie. It just wears every emotion it's got on its sleeve. I think that it does it so well, though. It's just fun.
Yeah. It's earnest.
It is, and I'm here for it. This is a movie that, if this movie tried to pretend to be something else, that might be different. But this is a movie that it delivers on just about every promise it makes to the audience. It does it with competence. It does it with good. It's well done. The effects are well done. The acting is well done. The writing is good. You get just enough characters.
What? I'm gonna sit here and say the acting's well done. The acting is
the main characters.
Okay.
I think all the main characters. You can pick apart side characters, but I think all your main stars do a great job. I really do. Yeah, you can pick out the son. You can pick out some of the other stuff, but I think that your key players all did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
okay. Yeah, you're right. It's just I'm just sitting here like I don't know if I will ever be able to sit here and with a straight face say the acting in Independence Day is good.
I think the acting that matters. I think is good.
Horrible. I think that the acting is appropriate.
Okay, but that's what I mean. I'm all for film criticism and looking at film with a certain intense kind of earnestness and looking, really wanting it to be something amazing. But this is a movie that I genuinely think that if you criticize this movie too much, you genuinely become kind of a pretentious snob. It's just
Yeah.
you
Which,
are.
as much as I love Oliver Harper, he is a little bit of a pretentious snob. And
But it's so funny because he is, but he loves 80s and 90s like sci-fi and action. Like he
he loves Lawnmower Man.
the era that he loves is its entire thing is that it's kind of cheesy and a little bit rough around the edges, but you enjoy it because there's love and there's earnestness and there's just an embrace of the weird. I mean, it's yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
this is honestly probably the only review of his that I've been like, really? I almost wonder if it's changed at all because he put out that video a long time ago.
That's true. And again, I also think it's going to have to do with I think it has to do with nationality. I think
It might be,
he's
yeah.
a British guy, and this is the American movie, even if it was made by a German.
Yes,
Um.
because he did
and-
that review 11 years ago. That video is 11 years old.
Oh wow, yeah, maybe it has changed, especially given that 11 years ago, frickin' 11. Oh my god, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Since Independence Day
2015.
Resurgence. Poof. Yeah, so Independence Day Resurgence is what we're going to be doing next week, as I've talked about.
Yep.
It is one of only 2 or 3 movies I have ever wanted to genuinely walk out of the theater.
Mhm.
And if I hadn't been okay, what's funny is I always say that it's like I know that I was with somebody. I know I saw it with somebody. I do not remember who I saw it with.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. So, and like, I just remember wanting to leave the whole time,
Yeah.
and it's just like I am excited to talk with you about it, but I am not excited to watch this movie again. And I'm probably going to watch it in bits and pieces throughout the week. But it's just like this one. Come back for this one, guys, because I'm going to be mad the whole movie. And I'm going to yell and I'm going to scream and I'm going to talk about what they could have done. And we're going to go over this really bad movie. And it's going to be great.
One of his bigger videos, Critical Drinker, has a video about Independence Day Resurgence,
Yes.
literally called the
4.1
dumbest movie
million
ever
views.
made.
Yeah, it is. It is so stupid. It is a special class of stupid.
Yeah. No, so if you are, as we're this will be coming out. If you're listening to this right when we drop this, it's still a week or two from July 4th. But enjoy this movie. Laugh at it with your kids. Grill some meat, have a beer, grab some popcorn. Like just enjoy it. This is the kind of movie designed to sit back, laugh at. This is the kind of movie that you all know so well. You can talk about, you can quote to each other, you can have a good time. And there is, for every art piece film, and I love those too, and they have their place, there should be room for movies like this always. And these kind of movies have
Agreed.
just as much a right to exist and be enjoyed as your art house Oscar winners. And
Yeah, like Pacific Rim and Independence Day, I think exist in very similar niches.
they do.
And
Because yeah,
they
Pacific Rim,
they're-
you apply a lot of logic to that and you're like, wait a minute. But it doesn't matter.
they are masterpieces of schlock.
Yes.
Because they are not only schlocky, but they are competently done in so many other ways that you can tell that like a lot of effort was put in to make this entertainment,
Yeah.
and it succeeded in being pure entertainment.
Yeah. And I think I briefly said this earlier. This is an Academy Award winning film. A lot of people forget that.
Three
And
of them.
it deserved the technical achievements that it won, for sure. The team that made this, I mean, they did a great job. And again, especially considering that they didn't have unlimited resources. It wasn't like they had ILM in their back pocket. I want to say a bunch of different effects houses, I think, kind of worked on different parts of this.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. This
A lot
was
of
a
them don't
movie.
exist anymore. ILM was involved in some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
but this movie, like, do you know how much money
movie?
this movie made?
Oh, it was like $800 and something million, right? It was, I mean, huge.
Yeah, a budget of $75 million, and you have to think that they pumped at least that much into the advertising. The
I'm
advertising system,
sure.
like you said, was wild.
Yeah, I'm sure that 20th Century Fox though will tell you that this movie lost money at the theater, at the box office, right? Yeah, it.
Yeah,
Hollywood accounting.
Fox,
I
go to hell.
freaking just gosh.
$817 million.
This movie
and that's
was
in '94.
huge. That's without and that's probably what, at least 3/4 of that is from North America. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's funny. I was
crazy.
listening to while I was driving my daughter out to meet somebody today. We were listening to the soundtrack for this. She doesn't know this movie like super well. She's seen it a few times. She likes it, but it just this movie never became a big watch all the time with my kids. There's just other films. Actually, for her, it's Pacific Rim. I think that's kind of her Independence Day as far as if she wants this type of movie, that's what she puts on. But we were listening to the soundtrack, and she was jamming to it. She was enjoying it. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So this has been Independence Day. It's just like you said, one of the best big popcorn movies ever made. One of the most competently schlocky films ever made. And anybody who thinks this movie is bad, you're just you can go away.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and you have a really good night and a happy 4th of July.
Have a happy 4th of July, everybody. Good night.
There's doors and corners, kid. If you don't clear the room, if you don't come in slow, that room will eat you.